What's up, guys? This is Justin. There's Greg and there's Vinnie. We are back with episode, what are we at, 20? Does that sound right?
20.
Episode 20? Wow.
Yeah. And the number 20 will kind of come into play later, so we'll see about that.
Greg's always got the numbers.
Yeah.
All right. So we are back, episode 20. If you guys have not listened to us or watched us before, we are baseball and whatever. We talk primarily Chicago baseball, a little bit of MLB around the league, and then we break it down with some other topic that we're interested in, whether it's video games, movies, TV shows, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, which we'll get into in a second. Vinny's got to take Greg and I to task.
The heat's coming.
A new one. Yeah, it's coming. But if you want to talk to us, let us know. You can email us at baseballandwhatever@gmail.com. Tweet us at baseballandwhat and facebook.com/baseballandwhatever. Those are the three best ways to get a hold of us. But to start off the show, we're recording the baseball part tonight. And then tomorrow we will be having one of the guys on from Disney on the Rocks, where we will be counting down our top 5 animated Disney movies, which we took out Star Wars, we took out Marvel, we took out Pixar. I'm going to be honest. It was really hard to come up with 5.
I think I found a loophole with some of this here. So I have, not to give away any spoilers, but I have one on my list that I might be able to get away with. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Vinny, you might have seen it, but we'll get to that.
I haven't seen any Disney animated hand-drawn movies in 25 years, probably. So this was really hard for me. You guys probably see them on a weekly basis with the kids.
Yes,
right?
You do.
I just watched 2 today. So.
Okay, so there you go.
That's what happened.
Although I don't have my list yet together.
Maybe I should moderate that tomorrow when we record, because I'm not going to be much help. But before we get started with the baseball talk, we always are thankful for all your emails, tweets, comments, and YouTube comments. So, Greg, without further ado, tell us, what are the listeners telling us these days? Go right ahead.
Got some feedback on our sequel, episode about movie sequels better than the original. Patrick from Facebook writes in Austin Powers 1 and 2, Rocky 1 and 2, and Superman 1 and 2. Are all those better than the original?
The Austin Powers one, I said that one.
You did say that
Austin
one.
Powers.
So I agree with him on that one. I would say Rocky 2, because he wins, is better than the first one.
I will be honest, I never saw Rocky 2.
Oh gosh, Justin.
Rocky 2 has been a while.
Don't admit that.
I've seen Rocky 4 and Rocky 5. That's it.
Oh, really?
Rocky 5 is really bad.
Yeah,
Rocky
that's the worst one.
It's like a street fight, right? Isn't it a street fight pretty much?
That's the worst
4
one.
is amazing, though.
Wait,
Rocky 4 is probably the best one.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Fights
with Drago? Yeah.
Really quick with Rocky, what's the one where is it Rocky 6 where he kind of comes back out of retirement again?
Was that Rocky Balboa?
Or Rocky Balboa.
I have not seen it.
I haven't seen that one.
I saw that one in theaters, but I kind of saw I didn't see Rocky 5 at that point. I kind of saw it out of order a little bit, but that one was okay, I think. So
I haven't seen any of the Creed movies either. I heard those.
I haven't seen Creed 2. I haven't seen Creed 2. Creed 1 was the first one was amazing. So
I will also be honest, I've never seen any of the old Superman movies either.
I haven't either.
Okay, so with Superman, that one's, I mean, they're good for what it is at the time, and Superman, the original, obviously, Marlon Brand. I think I spoke about this, when we talked to Bill. It was like, oh yeah, Superman, starring Marlon Brando, Gene Hackman, and 10 other cast members. And oh yeah, by the way, Christopher Reeve playing Superman. There's so many other A-listers in that movie. And then Superman 2 kind of featured Terrence Stamp as General Zod. And
that's right.
That's what they kind of took from the, even though he was technically in the first one too, but I don't know if I can speak on that one. I haven't seen those movies in forever, and I couldn't tell you which one's better than the other. But I'm just going to take your word for it. We will take your word for it, Pat.
I'm just going to say Superman sucks right now.
Ooh, there we go.
Man, we are full of hot takes tonight. I will be honest. I'm not a huge Superman fan. I don't know why in general, just the fact that
Man of Steel's garbage.
Invincible, except Kryptonite. He's got all the cool powers. I think the fact that they've never made a good Superman video game, because what do you do with that character? He can't die unless everyone's shooting him with Kryptonite, and that just seems kind of stale, right? So
lame.
Do you guys remember Superman Returns, the Brandon Routh? 2000.
That ruined his career.
Yeah,
I heard it.
I never heard from him because Kate Bosworth is Lois Lane.
Oh God, no, I don't.
Kevin
remember that at all.
Spacey played Lex Luthor in that movie.
No.
So
The lesson about Kevin Spacey,
of
the better.
a whole cast
if
of
they
dead
would have went
careers.
through with that Nicolas Cage Superman movie, oh man, I would have been all in on that one. All in.
That would have been pretty good.
It would have been the best Superman movie ever.
Yes, it would have. Yes, it would have.
Brian from Facebook, Rush Hour and Rush Hour 2.
Oh, I don't know about you guys.
That's tough.
I might have to disagree with Brian on that one. I don't know. Rush Hour 1 is
Brian
such a
Waters,
good movie.
chiming in right
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They're both good, but
Rush Hour 2 is decent. It's decent.
Rush Hour 2 for sequels, it's good, but I can't say that it's better than the
Rush
first.
Hour 2?
That's the one with Vegas.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought
where Jackie Chan's, I think his partner is still alive. He's not dead or something like that. That betrayed him. He's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then I know they made a third one. I never saw the third one, so
I saw the third one. That was
that
okay.
Was the third one, okay.
And I want to say the fourth.
No, the third one they go to France.
France, yeah. The fourth one, I want to say the script was being written. So I don't know if that means
is that just in developmental hell or something right
I think
now?
so. I think so. Chris Tucker might need money and Jackie Chan has nothing going on. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. So I mean the first movie, Rush Hour 1, I love that movie. That is such a good movie. The second one's okay. It's good.
Yeah.
Is it better? I don't know about that.
I don't know.
But
I'm struggling to remember a lot of the second one. The first one I love.
The second one the second one takes place in China. Starts off in China.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, because they go there on vacation, right?
Yes.
Yeah. After the events of the first one. So
yeah.
Ed from Facebook writes in Major League and Major League 2. I'll say that one really quick. Both good movies, both different movies.
Very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
So,
yeah. I think that's kind of like Batman and Batman Returns, right? Very, very different movies.
A little bit, different
Yeah.
themes, almost same returning characters, but Major League 2 is so slapstick, and it was rated. It was rated PG, so you kind of lose
that's so
the
weird,
corrupt
right?
language, and it's more of a slapstick comedy. Whereas Major League, did have its, themes to it, with Jake and his story and everything. Even though Major League 2 kind of had the Rick Vaughn, origin side story, but I do like them both. Guys, I'll admit, I like Major League 3 too. Not
I loved that movie as a kid.
But I enjoyed that.
I've never seen that one.
Back to the Minors, right?
What? Yeah, Back to the Minors.
In the second one, it's not they have a different Willie Mays Hayes in the second one, right?
Omar
yes.
Yeah.
They replaced them.
Yeah,
Lightning and Black Thunder
didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Wesley Snipes, I think, kind of was a little more on the map.
Yeah.
By the time the second one came out, but both good. Yeah, Major League Back to the Minors is okay. That one gets panned all the time, but it's fine. It's like an inoffensive, just kind of
it's a
decent
good baseball movie for a kid to watch. What's the line from Major League 2? I think it's Bob Uecker's like, I went to go see Willie Mays Hayes' movie, but it was only in theaters for 5 minutes or something like that.
For a day or so. Yeah,
it was horror. It was horrible.
Not only did his own stunts, but also his own acting.
Exactly.
That was a good one.
That is a good one.
Who else we got here? Oh, Agent Lugo, Jack Lugo, James Bond Radio, Bond and Banter chimed in. The interview with Bill Koenig brought me back to when the 89 movie came out. Batman, of course. Those were the days. I wasn't actually barely physically alive.
Yeah, I was 2.
But goddamn, they were the days, Jack. So thanks for chiming in.
Yeah, I saw that. He tweeted that out today. I was like, oh, that's awesome that he's going through our back catalog now that we have a catalog.
Yes, we can say that he's kind of interacting with the bias stuff we've been posting too. Jack is if you don't know Jack Lugo of James Bond Radio and Bond and Banter is a big New York Mets fan.
Yeah,
sorry, Jack.
Poor guy.
The bias stuff is frustrating. And Jack's a pretty calm, collective guy. To see him on Twitter, starting to lose his shit a little bit, that can happen. So
just imagine what we've been going through for the past 4 years.
So I think Jack is starting to feel a little bit, but all the best, Jack. We're rooting for you, and thanks for chiming in, bud. And thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the interview too. I know you're friends with Bill Koenig, but thanks for checking it out.
And Greg, you're going to be on Jack Lugo's podcast coming up, aren't you?
Yeah,
I am, but I can't say any spoilers.
Oh,
yet,
all right, fair enough.
Because I technically am on. I'm the second guest going to be on this episode. The first guest will be revealed shortly.
Nice,
so
that's exciting.
We'll see how that goes. But if you want to hear me talk on Bond and Banter, we talking Bond, baseball, and all the stuff that is near and dear to my heart.
Awesome. Very cool.
Okay, before we move on, though, I gotta...
Go ahead, Vinny. Take us to task here.
I had to leave last episode early because my daughter was hungry.
Here it comes.
And you two were speaking blasphemy on Guardians of the Galaxy.
Blasphemy.
That your take on it was just pathetic. Come on. It was way better than the first one. I had to rewatch it just to make sure that I was right. It was anytime that Drax was on screen, he was hilarious. Batista is great in that movie.
So we're clarifying 2 is better than 1. Right?
Yes.
Because we bashed
100%. 2 is way better than 1.
Yes.
Sure.
But you also bash them both, and they were actually the second. Well, I have to go back and watch the second one or first one, but the second one is actually a really good Marvel movie.
I remember coming away impressed way more from the second one because the first one just did nothing for me.
The first one, the script was terrible.
I tried so hard to get into it because everybody was talking about it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be a great movie. I did the same damn thing with Suicide Squad. Everyone said it was great, and then I watched it, and I'm like, oh, this isn't that good.
That's getting like the 90s on Rotten Tomatoes too.
I'm starting to think maybe I'm the problem.
Are you the problem here, James?
I might be the problem.
I'm not.
Are you out of touch? No, it's the children.
It's the children who are out of touch.
Benefit of the doubt, Justin, because DC has been shit. So,
but you're talking to the guy who loves the Snyder Cut, so I don't know where the hell.
I don't know. I haven't finished it yet because it's like 20 hours.
That's true.
There's only 1 hour into it.
Yeah.
With Guardians of the Galaxy, it's so weird that first one because the characters, like all of them, are some of the well-written, funnier characters of the MCU as a whole.
Yeah.
And that first one. Let me walk back. I think they're good movies, but they're not like I'm comparing on a Marvel, scale. Right.
The second one holds up.
All right, so I gotta revisit the second one because maybe the first one I can barely remember. I'll be honest, I can barely remember anything about the second one.
Kurt Russell is what makes the second one, from what I remember.
Okay.
Well, yeah, my mom would say that, especially because he plays a god, and that's all she's growing up is that he's a god.
He's a god. Yeah.
I couldn't even remember. I couldn't tell you any Kurt Russell's lines. I know they de-age him for a little bit. And I thought, ooh, that looks pretty.
Yeah,
good.
I don't remember any of his lines either. But
he didn't have that many. He didn't have many memorable lines. He was the villain in it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to do a little bit of a watch party or something and go back.
I think so.
Maybe, yeah.
I think so. I think that whole Yondu scene where he's escaping from being imprisoned was absolutely amazing.
And Sylvester Stallone's in that sequel too. So the first one just was so boring to me. I don't know. But the second one, not bad.
I totally forgot Glenn Close was in the first one, and so was John C. Reilly.
Oh,
yes, he was.
They're technically part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Oh man! But speaking on Yondu, Michael Rooker is a fantastic actor.
Yes, he is.
That is one of the better characters.
Yes, he is. He is wasted in Suicide Squad. Let me say that as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't think we have any more comments, emails,
I think Vinny's got some.
Yeah,
Vinny, what do you got for us?
Someone gave us some feedback. A person by the name of Holden left us feedback on Discord, and I just want to say thank you, Holden, for your feedback and for listening. We're definitely going to take some of the tips you gave us and some suggestions and try to work on them. If you have any specific suggestions on what we should do for the whatever, it seemed like you enjoyed that a lot more. Feel free to write in because we'll always try to work that into the show.
Yeah, we have a master Google Doc of all the different whatever topics we want to do down the road, but we will always take more because I don't know. Some weeks it's like we just talked about something similar, So yeah, we'll take any suggestions you got and. I think you nailed it. Old boomer Greg there. He's kind of aging the podcast a little bit.
Yep.
So
Yelling at the clouds.
As far as I'm concerned, the less baseball we talk, the better. It's better for the mental health.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, good God. Thanks, Holden, for writing in.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for writing in. All right. So we don't have much on the agenda in terms of White Sox, but we do have one main thing, which I'm very curious to get everyone's take. I think I know Greg's take. I don't know where Vinnie stands, and I'm kind of waffling back and forth between the two. So this week, Seby Zavala had, and correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, there was Vlad Guerrero Jr. was at the plate, correct?
Yes.
Had an open base at first.
Yes.
And was at a 3-1 count, I believe?
3-0 count.
3-0 count, sorry.
3-0 count.
And who was pitching? Was it Lance Lynn?
Lance Lynn.
Okay,
bastard.
So my understanding is they called for a pitch. Lance Lynn missed his spot, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. rocked it out of the park. That's pretty much it, right?
For a single.
He single that scored a
there you go.
ahead
tying run.
Okay.
Tying run.
Tying run. Okay. So then cut to the end of the inning. Zavala comes in, and all the cameras were on him, and it sounds like, or it looked like, I should say, didn't sound like, it looked like he got an airful from La Russa. And then I know in the press conference, La Russa kind of gave like a no comments kind of thing when he talked about it. So where do you guys stand? So Greg, let's start with you. What's your take? Was this the right way to go? Was it Zavala's fault in the first place? Should La Russa have done that? Should they have gone in the clubhouse? What's your take on all this?
Well, I think La Russa was probably yelling at Zavala for the target he was putting out there. I mean, Lance Lynn, it looks like Lance Lynn missed the spot.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure that's got to be part, because Zavala was setting up. If you watch the replays, Seby was setting up outside.
Mm-hmm.
Pitch got way too much of that plate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially with a base open, you really don't want to throw anything in the zone. And I guess Tony's learned that. Oh, yeah, players do swing on 3-0 now. So, you know what? So, and then, I first actually saw it because I wasn't watching the game. So when I was on Twitter, I saw your comments, Vinny, or the podcast comments saying, because there was this uproar on Twitter.
Yeah, a lot of radio personnel in Chicago. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. About Tony does it again. Tony, embarrasses his players. Tony does this. Tony's yelling, keep it in the clubhouse. And guys, I'll be honest, me with your mean Mercedes stuff. I was the first one to crucify La Russa. And I'll be perfectly honest. I do not see anything wrong with what he did there. Okay. He's in the dugout. A mistake was made. Now, whether he was yelling, whether that yelling should have been directed at Seby or Lance, maybe that's up for debate.
Sure.
Kind of who. Lance did take responsibility for it, saying, yeah, that was on me. I missed my spot.
Right.
Which he did. And that's what you want to do. But there could have been missed signs throughout that at bat or whatever.
Yeah.
Seby could not have his head. There could have been miscommunications. And it was costly. Yeah. And, Tony had to make his point clear. And he did it in the dugout. It's not like he's yelling.
No, it's not like he was on the field.
He ran out on the field.
Yeah, took him out of the field, whipping his dick out or whatever, yelling and screaming. But
don't give him any ideas, Greg.
He did it in the dugout, and he was yelling at his catcher. He's getting his point across. Yeah. Guys, in baseball, sometimes when a manager yells and disciplines you, that's how you learn, especially if you're a rookie catcher. He's a good defensive guy. Probably did him more good than harm, if you ask me to be perfectly honest. Seby probably realized now, yes, what I did there was costly. Maybe Lance Lynn too. Maybe, Zeby's the rookie. Lance Lynn gets the benefit of the doubt and avoids the screaming for a night or whatever. Maybe there was a conversation on the side. But for me, guys, I didn't have a problem with this. Any little Tony La Russa thing is like, oh yeah, fuck him. But I'll throw out Herb Lawrence, who we follow on Twitter.
Yes.
Yep.
I had to cancel his guest spot on the show, Greg.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he canceled us.
Yeah, I think
you know what? I couldn't help myself. I'm like, I don't see what your problem with this is, because he was getting more. He tweeted about it, and a lot of people were taking his side, and some people weren't. I wasn't taking his side, saying, yes, I don't see what the problem with this is. Like I think he said, save it for the clubhouse.
Okay.
I mean, that's fine too, but he is in the dugout.
Yeah.
It's like, that's in the moment right there. It's like, hey, Seby, come here. You see what you did there? You're a piece of shit. You shouldn't have done that. And that cost us the fucking run, you fucking asshole. There's nothing wrong with it. You get on your guys a little bit. You yell, you scream, knock it in their head.
Yeah.
Now I know. Vinnie, I have learned.
Vinny, what about you? What was your take on it?
I actually had the benefit of the doubt of watching that whole sequence the next day. I was at my niece's birthday party, and the replay was on ESPN Plus. So I actually sat there, and they were opening up gifts, and I kind of turned away and watched that sequence because I was like, I have to watch this.
Yeah.
And as Greg has alluded to, he was nibbling the outside, setting up just on the outside.
Yes.
But the pitch, I'm no expert at pitches, but he definitely had a pitch that went in from left to right. Yeah. Now, if you're trying to not do that, you need to be or if you want to throw that pitch, you probably should be way to the well, I guess if it's a pitcher, you'd be way to the left. So it goes further outside.
You want
zone.
That outside. You don't want any part of that in the zone.
Exactly. So he lined up too close on the pitch he called, or they agreed upon. So he should have lined up more outside. And then I rewatched the confrontation. I won't even call it yelling, because if you look at Tony, he's more just
vocalizing,
more, not even vocalizing. He's just more animated than vocalizing. He's not getting red in the face. He's not he's not getting right up next, like right face to face with them, like inches away. He's just kind of standing there and throwing his hands around like that. Honestly, if people are just getting offended by that, I don't think sports are for you. I've seen worse. I've had worse done to me in sports.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yelling. I've
gotten into yelling matches with teammates on the bench that were worse than that. Yeah.
I mean, I think Tony Rizzo and Contreras got into it more than Tony did with Seby.
Yeah. So I don't see Lee.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with what he did. It was, if anything, you say keep it in the clubhouse. By saying no comment, that is keeping it in the clubhouse. That's keeping it within the team. So what are you actually looking for? And I know Herb also came back at it again today saying, well, why didn't any of the reporters, push Tony on it? What does it matter?
He's not going to let anything out anyway. So
no, right. What does it matter? Okay, he said something. Yeah, and like you alluded to, Greg, maybe it was kind of for Lance Lynn for missing the pitch, missing his spot, and maybe it was just giving the benefit of the doubt to the veteran and saying, hey, I'm going to come down on your rookie catcher that you like a lot. Yeah. So next time, don't screw up, and maybe he gets his point across to Lance Lynn without actually having to deal with Lance Lynn.
Right.
That's a great point.
For me, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here. The only thing, because that's what I do best. Okay. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with this, but
you hate Tony.
That's a given. But anyway, and I'm not even a Sox fan. That's the best part. Is the only thing, and again, just playing. Again, we don't know what the plan was. We don't know if Zavala was supposed to be getting the signs directly from the bench. I mean, I've seen catchers do that all the time where they look over and see, as opposed to coming up with whatever they want to throw. The thing that I'm curious about, that I would ask Tony this, and obviously he would probably say no comments, is if it was 3-0 and you didn't want Vlad Guerrero Jr. having anything close to hit, why not just say, hey, we're walking him? I mean, that's something Tony can do. You don't even have to have Zavala do that. That's just something that's directed from the bench. You get what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, to intentional walk.
Intentional walk. I'm just be like, all right, forget it, because I don't want to take a chance here. So for me, that's the only thing I question is, and not to put it on the manager, because the manager can't nearly influence the game as much as the players, and I will be the first to admit that, is if he was that adamant that, hey, I don't want this guy getting a hit when it's already 3-0, don't take any chances, just all right, we're walking him. Take your base. We're done. I mean, you don't even have to throw the pitch anymore. That's how, quick it can be done. At the same time, though, if he trusts Lance Lynn and he trusts Zavala and he thinks that they can get a pitch that's on the outside and get him to swing at a first strike, and then clearly it didn't go where it was supposed to, it was in the zone, and then you have that problem. I mean, I get what you're saying about going after Zavala because he's not the veteran, but at the same time, I kind of feel guilty. It's like, dude, he has 30 something games in the majors. Like, but he's got to
Welcome
learn
to the majors.
Welcome to the majors. Yeah, here's the
Welcome
way
to
you're
the
going
big
to learn.
leagues, son.
So that's the only thing I question is if you were that worried about him taking that hit, then just call the intentional walk. I mean, you cut the players out of the equation. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
we don't know what the plan was.
Yeah.
That maybe that wasn't in the works. So that's
it's probably what the latter, what you said there, Justin.
Yeah.
Veteran pitcher with
we'll figure it out. Yeah,
with moving fastballs, trying to get him to chase, try and get out of the inning instead of loading him up more and trying to lose a lead, close game.
Yeah,
that could have been more of it. I don't think Tony's an intentional walk guy.
No, from what I've seen this year of Sox games, he's not a big.
I don't think that's
of
his thing.
Could you imagine if they intentional walked him and then they hit a home run? How?
Oh God, yeah.
In an uproar people would have been.
Oh, the Chicago media would have been pissed about that too.
Yeah.
That would have been. You should have pitched to him.
Yeah.
What are they saying on the score about this? I haven't listened to this.
I haven't listened to it.
I listened the other day, the first 2 days of school, we had the half days, so I got to listen to a little bit of Lawrence Holmes' show on the way home, and he was kind of saying similar thoughts that he wasn't a big fan of what Tony did. And namely also about the intentional walk stuff. That was his big thing. And that's kind of where I got that talking point from. I don't know what the other hosts have said, but him and Herb Lawrence is his producer on that show. So they were pretty much locked up together that they weren't too happy with the way Tony handled that. But I don't know.
I respectfully disagree. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way that was handled. And I think what you said before, Vinny, about him not turning red, just being more animated.
Sure.
Yeah. It was more of a teaching moment.
Teachable
Shut
moment,
up and learn. This is what I've seen for the last 100 years in this game.
Yeah, right.
And I know a little something, son. So
sit out. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? Hopefully Zeby's the better learn something. He's the better catcher now because I really like him. And I think Tony really likes him. For him to go all out on someone like that. I mean, there's got to be something there. He must see, it's like, hey, you've got the, defensive capabilities to do this. You're a smart game manager, but this is where you messed up. This is where you need to get better. And I know you can do it. So Tony taking the time out because, Tony, 100 years old, he's like, oh, Zach, you're not going to do that with Zach Collins.
I was going to say, what's he going to do?
No,
Zach Collins in? Yeah.
Lost fucking cause, man. He's like, he doesn't even talk to that asshole. You just go up to the plate and get it over with. So the whole take it in the clubhouse thing, Tony, that's like, I'm not gonna yell at Tony for this one. He's gonna have to try harder for me.
There's going to be many other things that Tony will do, I'm sure.
Sure.
That people will come down on him.
Well, the postseason managing is going to be a big one too.
Yeah.
So,
and I will be the first to admit, anytime he does something, just the instance in which he got hired and how he got the job, I feel like anytime there's any little thing that maybe could have been handled differently, potentially, even if it's right or wrong, people are going to jump on that just because they're still not happy that he's the manager. And for right or wrong, I mean, I get that. So,
totally.
Greg, you got any other White Sox talk you want to bring up before we?
No, I've been. We'll have to switch over to Vinny. I've been cold on the White Sox lately. I'm hitting my dog days of baseball a little bit.
Yep, I hear you.
So I gotta get back into it a little bit, but this definitely brought me in, and this was a good discussion. I like this one because it's very interesting. And people on the other side, I see too. I don't agree with you, but I feel like that's the trend now. Mm-hmm. It's like a lot of this. Hey, don't embarrass your players. It's not. From like I said, broken record is not embarrassing for me.
Yeah,
stop being pussies is what I'm telling you. So. That's
all. Vinny, you got any other White Sox talk, or should we move on?
Greg, are you concerned about their lack of ability to beat teams that are above 500? Does that concern you at all? I know I got on Twitter this morning, and Steve Stone had this epilogue of how teams shouldn't worry, and it was kind of weird. But
okay, I'm gonna. It is weird, and I half agree with that maybe. So short answer is no, but I'm worried. I'll say this. I'm worried about the hitting. Worried about that. I'm with the starting pitching and, bullpen, Bummer was shaky with the bullpen today. He's been shaky with that all season.
He's been bad this year.
Yes, he has been. I'm still pretty confident in that right now. I'm confident with our pitching because they're carrying the team. what happens in the regular season happens in the regular season. Looks like the Sox are headed to the postseason. Clean slate. Let's start from there. Now, if they get destroyed by Houston, because that looks like their matchup, yes, that was just say we also we can go back and say it's like, okay, the signs were clear, they can't be good teams. If they pick it up somehow, then you forget about it. Obviously, I think that's what Steve Stone's alluding to. So I will answer your question by saying the hitting or the lack of power, rather, to be more specific, is concerning, especially with this line, especially with this lineup. We posted something like, what's the Sox ideal lineup? You can build, 20 different ones that'll be solid. Yeah. But it doesn't give a damn if you're not hitting the ball or driving them in. So let's get the power going, because that's usually the White Sox thing. Is they hit the ball a very long way, and this year's pitching, which is weird for Sox fans to understand. Like, we're all in this weird zone right now. Is like, well, this is the White Sox, but they don't usually win like this. So what's going on? Is this we don't know how to react to this? I don't know how to react to it. That's why I'm struggling to answer your question here. But so I can't give you anything better, Vinnie, except I'm keeping an eye on the hitting, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, 18. They had 18 hits in their win, but they only scored 5 runs. That's a little concerning.
A little bit.
I would kill for 18 hits in a game for a Cubs game,
right? Hey, did the Cubs end up winning tonight?
They won the first game. I don't know if they won the second game. I think it might have gotten rained out. I don't know if you can see it's lightning a lot behind.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's pretty bad here.
Well, they lost 13-10.
Oh well,
they went to extras.
Wow, 10 runs for Cubs. Okay,
but they won at Wrigley a couple days ago. Or something?
Yes,
they won this morning too.
This morning.
So yes,
winning baseball on the north
let's
side.
Talk about the Cubs. So, Vinny, I believe you found this. The Cubs finally won this week at Wrigley. The last time they won was Baez's walk-off, which I believe was like July 26th, July 27th, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's been almost a month since they've won at home, and half the roster was different back then.
Yeah, I was going to say they had Baez, Rizzo, and Bryant then.
Right.
They still had the core.
The core was still there. Right?
Yeah, it was still there. All right. I want to give you guys some stats here, and I want you to tell me if you think this would be a shortstop you'd be willing to have next season. Okay. All right. 243 batting average, 311 on base, 437 slugging, and a 97 weighted runs created, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Plus. So
weighted
WRC
runs
plus.
Yep.
Would you take that as the Cubs shortstop next season?
My follow-up question is, how much are you paying him, and is he a cornerstone piece going forward?
This would be a cornerstone for at least the next 4 to 5 years.
No.
And you're going to be paying him a lot of money.
No, that production is god awful.
All right, Greg, what about you?
Not for that production.
All right, do you want to know who that is?
Who is that?
That is the away stats for one. Trevor Story, yes. Now, I like Trevor Story, but I pulled those stats out because when you add that to his Coors Field stats playing in Colorado, his overall stats look much better.
Wait, is that this year or is that his away stats?
That, I believe, is this season, yes.
He's been bad this year, though.
He's been really, he's having a really down season. The problem is, though, I mean, if you're going to sign him, it's going to be at least a 4 or 5 year contract at least.
Yep.
Probably.
I think
he's a lot of money.
I think he's a much better player than that.
Think so?
I think Colorado's garbage organization that he doesn't give a shit playing for.
No, they don't.
Arenado's stats weren't that great either way.
No,
I remember when the Cardinals traded for him, I was like, oh, he's kind of garbage. I was like, at the point when I was kind of down on Chris Bryant, I was like, I'd rather have Chris Bryant than Nolan Arenado. But Nolan Arenado has been pretty good for the Cardinals. So
I think a lot of it speaks to the training that they go through in Coors Field and just training in those conditions. I think if you're with a new team and then you're finally at a new home ballpark, I think those adjustments start to be made a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why I think those numbers are skewed a little bit. And with Trevor Story, I just think he's a much better ball player than that. And I know I said on the podcast he's my pick for the Cubs shortstop.
Right.
I'm gonna stand by that because I think he's much, much better than that. And I think he's well suited for Wrigley Field. That's just
I would like if he bounces back, having a Trevor Story and Nick Madrigal
Yep. Up the middle.
I mean, especially because
with Nico in center.
Nico in center, because Nico just hurt himself again in his first rehab stint. So, I don't know.
He didn't officially hurt himself.
Right. It was like he pulled himself out of the game, though, right?
Yeah. Yep. There was no official injury. Okay. All right. So he's still okay.
So, in terms of Trevor Story, he just did an interview a while back, and I believe it was Bleacher Nation picked it up. He said he loves playing at Wrigley. He loves playing in a historic ballpark, and he would be willing to talk to the Cubs about a long-term deal. Whether or not Ricketts opens the pocketbooks this season, we will see.
He's got to.
I think it'd be a good move. I think it'd be a good move.
It couldn't hurt. I mean, to have somebody.
I'd rather have him over Baez.
At this point, yes, I would too. Yeah. And I never thought I would.
The Mets can keep Baez.
He's looking rough. So yeah, in terms of the Cubs, they've had some interesting prospects. Frank Schwindel has been playing pretty well. I've been really impressed with him.
Man.
Yeah,
he hit a bomb today.
Patrick Wisdom,
21 home runs so far.
Michael Hermosillo has been playing fairly well. Yeah, it's granted I haven't been able to watch any of the games because I still don't have Marquee, but listening to them has been, no one on this podcast does now.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's unfortunately I don't have much else Cubs talk. Like Greg said, I feel like we're in the dog days of summer. The Cubs aren't really the most exciting to watch, despite having a few pieces that might be there next season. Kyle Hendricks pitched a great game the other night.
He's been bad this year though.
Yeah,
Although so I saw on Twitter someone said, Kyle Hendricks leads the MLB in wins. Does that make him a Cy Young candidate? And I was like, we're talking about wins in a pitcher.
I'm like,
just stop.
15 years ago. Yeah.
It's not anymore.
Yeah.
The dinosaurs.
Feel like he started off really bad, and then he kind of turned the season around, and now he's kind of had some mediocre starts.
Yeah.
And he's kind of
how many wins does he have?
12 maybe
something like that,
plus something like that.
Pitchers don't even go that distance anymore, so we're not even really looking at wins anymore.
No.
Before we wrap up and jump around the MLB, Greg's got another That Guy Cub trivia question. So Greg, you want to give us the details here, and then we'll see if anyone writes in with the answer. Go ahead.
So for those listening at home, if you remember a couple weeks ago, it was Koji Uehara was my mystery That Guy Cub. So you guys want to play again?
Sure, let's do it.
So here's some clues for you guys. That Guy Cub. Here we go. So this guy had the honor of being an opening day second baseman for the Cubs, batting eighth in that lineup. He spent exactly 2.5 weeks with the team before being DFA'd. After clearing waivers, his jersey number was assigned to outfielder Julio Barbone for that guy.
There's a guy.
Waiver claim from the Rangers that year, literally a couple days later. This player was after he cleared waivers and was sent to Iowa, he was eventually traded to the New York Yankees for cash considerations, aka baseballs. And this happened 15 days after the Cubs drafted All-Star San Francisco Giant third baseman Chris Bryant. And my last clue is in 2008, he was traded along with Tyler Flowers and two other players to the White Sox in exchange for pitchers Javier Vazquez and Boone Logan. Remember those guys?
Oh, geez.
So those are my clues for That Guy Cub. Go ahead and send in your answers. Tell us what you think.
Gosh, I got a couple ideas, but I don't think any of them actually got traded to the Yankees. So, and then especially played on the White Sox too. I don't remember that either. So I will have to do my research, but thank you, Greg. We'll see if anyone knows that one.
Yeah,
and if you win, you win the glory of getting your name on our podcast. We can even tweet who you are. I don't know. We can do whatever we want. It's up to you.
Yeah. We can post it again if you missed the clues.
Yeah, I'll post it.
And reply, email, Twitter, all that stuff. And we'll see who gets it right.
Sounds good.
Do your best. Do your best to not look it up.
Yeah, I had to look it up.
Yeah,
I cheated.
You can look it up eventually, but just throw out the first name that comes to literally your mind just for the hell of it.
Fighting the need to Google, second baseman from Cubs traded to Yankees.
Right. I left some clues in here for you that you would able to
narrow down the year.
Quickly, but
so if it was when Bryant got drafted, we're talking what, like 2011, 2012, something like that?
2013.
Close. Okay. Remember when
Check it out.
they held him back a couple days so he could get that extra year of service time?
Service
Yeah.
time
Worked out great.
It did work out great because if you think about it, they would have had to trade him last year.
That's true. You're right.
And that they wouldn't have gotten anything for him last year.
They wouldn't have gotten anything for him last year. All right, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about just Major League Baseball in general. But before we do that, Vinny, do you want to talk about our official, unofficial baseball team that we're of the podcast?
Yeah. Shout out to our official, unofficial minor league AAABA team, the Carolina Disco Turkeys. So
Yes.
I think, Justin, that was all you, though.
I found them. And if you want to see an amazing logo, it's literally a turkey in a like crushed velvet 70s disco suit. Looks like if you took
John
Travolta's head, popped it off, and put
Saturday
a
Night
turkey's
Fever
head on
stuff
there.
going
That's their
on.
Yeah.
logo. So they do a bunch of goofy stuff to get fans in. Obviously, I think they're an independent minor league baseball team. So
Yes, it's the All-American Amateur Baseball Association.
there you go. So it's always
There we
cool
go.
to kind of support those guys. So I know on Twitter, I said, hey, can you be our official team of the podcast? And I think they liked
They liked it.
They
They didn't
liked
say
it,
yes.
so-
They liked it. So
So, I mean,
they're
uh,
unofficial. The
they're
I don't
official.
know. I don't know the Twitter etiquette is like the same as a yes or no.
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know.
Is
I
it
don't
like
think so.
Seinfeld? It's not like I said hi. You know?
Yeah. No, I don't think it's. I don't think it's that. No,
But they sent us their regards.
I
Right?
also
Yeah.
know there was another minor league. I think it's another independent team I was talking to on Twitter called the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah,
Who
they're a that's a goofy thing.
they're a
going
goofy
on
team,
there, yeah.
and they got some strange looking uniforms. They're like decked out in all yellow. If you want to see
Oh, that's funny.
yellow baseball pants and yellow jerseys,
Yeah.
but they did something.
They do goofy things at that stadium.
Yes, they do. And they also did, in honor of the Little League World Series coming up, they had all their players stand in a line and do different things like how they would do it on TV, where they'd be like, oh, shout out to my parents. And then one guy's
That's
like,
funny.
shout out to my favorite second grade teacher. Hey, Mrs. Smith. And he gave a wink, and then they're all in the background clapping and doing a bunch of weird stuff like that. So
That's funny.
pretty strange, but yeah, check them out as well. All right, we only got a couple things before we wrap up and take a break before we have our discussion with Disney on the Rocks podcast. First off, I saw this the other day. Yadi Molina has signed a 1-year, $10 million extension to stay with the Cardinals for another farewell tour. This will be his 19th season. Any highs or lows with Yadi Molina that you guys can think of?
$10 million for a farewell.
Washed up guy.
What the fuck? 10 million just for a tour?
It's the American dream, Greg.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
I would say yes.
Probably.
I think
no. He's never caught a no hitter. Bum. And he got caught with sticky stuff on his chest.
Well,
Don't let him
loser.
anywhere near the place.
Who's
Yeah.
kidding? He's going to get voted in.
Yeah.
He won't be first ballot, but I'd say second or third ballot,
10
right?
million?
I think the longevity, best Molina brother, right? Would you agree with that? Between Benji and
No.
Jose
I love
Molina?
love Benji Molina. I love the fat
Benji.
catches, man.
He was an angel, I think, right?
Benji was a giant. And
Yeah.
Jose was
Do
a
I
Ray
like
and
Yadi
Angel.
Molina because he's a Cardinal? No, I can't stand him. If he was a Cub for the last 19 years, would I have liked him? Probably yes.
He'd be gone though.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
They
He
would-
would have been traded.
you want how much
To
for
the
a farewell
Cardinals.
tour? Get the hell
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
A couple things that come to mind with him. I still remember when he had so much pine tar on his catcher as protector, and the
That
ball stuck
Rawlings,
to him.
man, just stuck
Yeah.
right there.
Big connoisseur of neck tattoos. I don't know what else can you say about Yadi Molina.
Yeah, he's got that thing that like
is that
got,
like his
gang symbol on it.
Oh, is that what that is? I
don't know.
I
what
thought
it
that was
is.
like his personal branding or something. That's what
Oh, maybe that's it. I don't know.
I'm gonna
not
get.
a neck-
That'll
not
be
a
my
neck-
next. That'll be my next tattoo.
You're the
Yeah.
tattoo guy, John.
Yeah.
I'll get something. I'll have to brand. I'll get the baseball and whatever logo is my next.
There you go.
tattoo.
There you go.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not.
a lot of ink.
Yeah, yeah. I
Our
don't.
logos are like all black.
I'm cheap. I don't have time for that. The other thing I saw, I can't remember which one of you guys sent it to me in our text chain. The Javi Baez swing and miss this week. If you
that
haven't
was
checked
me.
it out, was that you, Vinny? If
Yeah.
you haven't checked it out, just Google Javi Baez swing and miss, New York Mets, something along those things, and you will see. I believe it was the left field camera. How early on that swing would you say he was, guys? I mean,
I feel like he was swinging before the pitcher even started.
I don't know what happened there. I mean, Do you think this trade to the Mets is he tanking his value this offseason? What do you think about
Well,
that?
he was tanking with the Cubs.
Yeah, he
it
was.
didn't matter.
Yeah.
The past 2 years he's been tanking.
I'll be curious to see. I mean, we might have to reach out to our guy Jack Lugo and see how the Mets fans are.
They don't like him
to him. I don't
at
think
all.
they like him.
I don't
no.
think so. Yeah. No.
So I mean,
as Bob Uecker put it, he swung on Tuesday, but it didn't arrive till Wednesday. So that's how that's kind of how if you can visualize that.
It's a shame because I love Javi. For a while, I was really hoping that he would somehow find his way back. I know that whole narrative has already started about whether or not he could come back now that his value is going down so much. But I'll be honest, after seeing the way he's been playing, especially this whole season, both with the Mets and the Cubs, I don't think I want him back.
They can easily upgrade, and they should.
Yeah.
And if they don't go with Nico at short, then they should look to upgrade, which I think they should look to upgrade anyways. Because everything I'm reading is Nico doesn't have the arm to play short.
Put him in center, and then you can get rid of Ian Happ. That's two birds with one stone.
Yes.
And I know he's been doing really good lately, and everyone's all excited. It's like, nope.
Is he like the cleanup man now or something?
He just had a pop-up bunt in the extra innings to move advance the runners. He popped up his bunt to the catcher, I think.
Oh, well, hey. At
least he's trying, right?
He's trying.
What are you bunting for?
I don't know.
Because he can't hit. He was hitting from the right side, and he's, I guess, awful from the right side compared to the left side.
At that point, don't be a switch hitter, right? Like, come on, man.
It's a lefty we want.
So. Yeah.
What was it? I think there was like a stat, or someone had, I don't know if it was like a hit and run or inside the clubhouse where they're going over like switch hitters aren't actually like high average hitters throughout baseball. You would think that there are probably 300 or over, but I think there's like only like a handful that were actually over 300.
Interesting.
This is just it's odd. You think you would just stick to the side that you're good, but
yeah, that is
whatever.
Huh. Last thing before we do a little standings check-in, Nick Castellanos, there are reports that he is likely to opt out of his contract with the Reds this offseason. Where do I sign? Please bring him back. I don't know where he would actually play, whether it be
Cubs. It's always the Cubs.
As long as it's the I would imagine
he was great on the north side.
He had a Chicago Bulls jersey on
he did.
Instagram
I saw that.
His Twitter.
Did he really?
Like that. Yeah. He had a Bulls. Well, maybe he'll go to the White Sox.
Oh,
we have an opening at right field there.
Yeah,
if we give it to Adam Engel, I'd rather have Castellanos personally.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see where he goes. I mean, I would love to have him back. I don't know.
Great baseball player.
Just a team player, and he wanted to stay. That's what everyone said. And then
we have a spot that's taken though.
Yeah.
Jason Hayward's out there for forever. And I'm
how much longer is Hayward on this?
2 more years.
2 more years?
I'm not like I'm counting or anything. 2 more years.
2 more years.
Sure, after
30 days, 20 seconds,
After the second year, I'm sure they'll build a statue out there in right field for him.
They're gonna put him in Tom Ricketts' new Hall of Fame out in the outfield or whatever, wherever.
There you go. He'll take up Sammy's spot.
Yeah. Oh God! Surprised nobody's defaced.
Justin, how do you feel about that?
What, Sammy Sosa?
Yeah, how do you feel about the Cubs not having him in their Hall of Fame?
Should he have been in their little Hall of Fame? Probably. I don't know. I mean, did I love watching him as a kid? Yes. Did I had a Sammy Sosa jersey. I was Mr. Sammy Sosa. Looking back, that 98 season was such a joke, but everyone kind of turned a blind eye. A lot of people were taking, stuff. I think what bothers me most about him, not even the steroids part, was the corked bat. I still remember that was on my birthday. I remember we were watching.
That was on your birthday?
On my birthday.
What a gift.
Happy
June 3rd, 2003 or  2004. 2004.
Wow.
2003.
What an awful gift.
15?
I remember we were out to dinner and they had the game on the TV where we were at. And I'm like, that's not going to end well.
And there it is.
Yeah. And then just the unceremonious leaving the game before it was over, his last game with the Cubs, that kind of stuff kind of sticks in me. But I mean, time heals all. If he wanted to come back, fine. I don't care. I know Ricketts is so adamant that he's got to apologize for everything he's done, which you know
I
what?
don't think he needs to apologize for the steroids.
No,
But
I mean,
he should apologize for the corkback because that's really embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty shitty. I mean, at this point, I feel like it's just a billionaire arguing with a millionaire, and I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? So if they want to give him a little plaque, if they want to have him at the game, fine. I don't care. I mean,
I think it'll happen one day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Sammy is a very interesting cat in general. I'll
tell you something about Sammy though. I mean, when he and McGuire were, going at it, you had the whole world watching baseball.
Yeah.
Say what you will about steroids and everything, and that got attention to baseball.
Sure did.
Yes,
that was I think the first time I really started following baseball.
That's when the non-baseball fans were watching the game, and nowadays the fans won't even watch the game.
Oh yeah.
So.
No, I don't blame.
Well, they can't.
Well, yeah,
it's on marquee.
It's on me.
Or it's blacked out.
Or blacked out on MLB TV because that thing is stupid. So
yeah,
baseball's so stupid. Why do we podcast?
Because we have nothing better to do.
Therapy.
It's therapy. That's why we started this podcast, was so we can bitch about our baseball teams.
Yes.
All right. Real quick before we take our break, standings wise, we got the Rays in first in the AL East. The Yankees are 4.5 back, and the Red Sox are 7 back. AL Central, the Sox have a commanding 9-game lead over the Indians. AL West, the AL West is probably one of the closest. We got the Astros in the lead in first in that division. The A's are 5 games back in second, and the Mariners have taken the reins. They are 1 game behind the A's now. So
wow,
I'm happy for either one of those teams.
Hanging
but
around, man.
I might be kind of cheering for the Mariners if they can take it. In the National League, the Braves all of a sudden have turned it on. They're in first in the NL East. The Phillies are 5 games back, and then the Mets are still only 7 back.
Falling off the
Mets
top.
Oh God, the Central. The Brewers are in first.
Oh man, they're good.
Yeah, they are really good.
They're really good.
The Reds are 8.5, and that's pretty much all you need to know. The rest of the division sucks. And the NL West, the Giants are still hanging on in first. The Dodgers have closed the gap. Man. They are 3 games back, and I don't know what's going on with my Padres. They are now 14.5 back in the division. They are 2-8 in their last 10.
They just fired. They just fired Cubs legend pitching coach Larry Rothschild.
How old is Larry Rothschild that he's still around? Like
La Russa's age.
It's got to be. Yeah, I thought he was dead like 10 years ago. So I mean, he was old.
I think he was the coach for the Yankees at that 10 years ago.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't even know he was still with the Padres.
I had no idea he was still. So. I had no idea he was in baseball until that came up. I'm like, oh my god,
poor guy. Poor Larry Rothschild. Real quick,
Jake Arrieta got him fired. Damn you, Jake.
Yeah, go figure.
Didn't see that one coming.
The Reds sneak into that wild card spot.
Yeah,
there.
so
I'm glad
you brought that up, Greg. We got the Dodgers are in obviously the first wild card. They're 10.5 games up on the Reds. The Reds are in the second wild card spot. And then looking on the outside in, we got the Padres a game back, St. Louis 4 games back, and the Phillies 5.5 back. I'm going to stop there because I don't think the rest of these teams are going to make it.
That's still a hike for the Cardinals and Phillies right there.
But the Cubs are only 14 out of the wild cards, so
so they got a chance.
Mathematically, they're
mathematically not eliminated yet. Someone put us out of our misery. All right,
someone just put the E right there.
Yeah,
and over with.
And then lastly, the AL wild card. The Yankees have the first spot. They are 2.5 games up on Boston. Oakland is 2 games out of that last wild card, and Seattle is 3 games. And then Toronto is still trying. They are 5 games out of the last wild card spot as well. So honestly, Oakland, Seattle, and Toronto, I would love to see any combination of those 3 teams in the wild card if it meant the Yankees and Boston got knocked out.
I'm with you there.
Yeah. Oddly enough, the Baltimore Orioles are 32 games out of the last wild card.
Ooh, they're close.
They're close. I got a feeling if Cal Ripken suited up, they probably would still not have a chance.
Yeah, it'd probably be their best bet right now at this point.
So before we take a little mini break, before we get to our countdown of the animated Disney movies that we enjoyed the most, Greg, you got any other baseball talk before we wrap up with this segment?
I don't think so. I think we covered pretty much everything.
Okay.
And yeah, like I said, the Reds jumping in there ahead of the Padres,
Yeah,
man.
it's kind of weird.
What is
Yeah.
that's kind of spooky what's going on
It
there
is
right now.
It
So
is.
I'm not a fan of the 9-game lead the White Sox had. That used to be like 15.
It used to
Now
be.
it's 9.
Yeah.
History repeating itself. The Indians.
Oh, settle down, Greg.
Creeping up there. God damn it. So
Well, hey,
whatever.
you
In the division.
it'll be
I've
fine.
I've seen it crumble, and
It
I've seen it come
won't.
close to the
Settle
end.
down. It's okay.
I think you're gonna be
pitching's
okay.
too strong.
You said the same thing about Adam Eaton. Look what happened.
That's true. I did. Well, I guess we're screwed.
Is he still playing with the Angels? I think he's still, or did he get DFA'd?
No, he got
Oh,
DFA'd because
DFA'd.
Greg made the joke that he was coming to the Cubs.
That's right.
They're
Oh, that's right.
talking to
How
him.
could I
They're
forget?
talking to him right now. They're probably on the phone.
Greg, don't even
podcasting,
give
so.
Ricketts that idea. Good Lord. Vinny, you got anything else before we wrap up the segment?
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned where the Carolina Disco Turkeys play, but
Yes, where do
they
they
play
play?
at the Winston-Salem's Truist Stadium. So if you're in Winston-Salem, go check them out.
Tell
Near
them
the-
baseball and whatever sent you. And when
Yes.
they say who, say
Your unofficial
official baseball podcast.
Baseball and what? Do they share a stadium with the Dash?
They do. I
They
believe
do.
they do. Yes.
Oh,
That's
all
good,
I
Greg.
like that.
Good job.
See, that's more than we know. So
Yep.
Well, Winston-Salem. That's
that's the
White
Sox, right?
single A,
Double A.
so-
Okay.
Single A.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the only reason.
I saw them play. I think it was
Did
single A, yeah, because I saw them
Did you?
play against the Myrtle Beach Pelicans when Eloy got traded. I was supposed to see Eloy play for the
that's right.
with the Pelicans, and he got traded. And I was like, great, now I'm not going to be able to see him play. And I was like, oh wait, they're playing the White Sox organization. Great, I get to see him play. But
If I'm not mistaken, Eloy collided with another White Sox outfielder last week too, didn't he? I thought I could have swore he bumped into somebody while he was trying to make a catch again out in the outfield, but I could be wrong.
was it Tony? Did he run into Tony?
Yes,
Really
Tony.
Oh, he's sprinting out of the field and
He ran out there. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But all right, stay tuned. We're going to take a mini break, and when we come back, we will be talking about our favorite animated Disney movies with the guys from Disney on the Rocks and their podcast. So stay tuned, and we will see you guys in a few minutes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
thank you.
Go. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Thanks for holding on there. We are now in segment 2 of Baseball and Whatever. We got Jeff here with us from the Disney on the Rocks podcast. He is going to help us count down our top 5 animated Disney movies, ranging from everything from the beginning, right, to like Fantasia to Moana, I guess. I think our only stipulation was we said no Pixar to try and make it a little interesting, which was tough for me. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to offer.
Yeah,
to this.
we said no Pixar, no
Yeah.
live action, and
Yeah, that's
no Marvel or
no Marvel, no
Star Wars, yep.
no Mighty Ducks really took the wind out of my sails. I'm not going to lie.
That's all you had with Disney. That was your Disney stock there.
I
Justin.
got my one Disney shirt on too, just for this. So I'm prepared. But
Look at him go.
yeah, that's my dedication to the podcast. First off, Jeff, can you just tell us? I mean, how did you guys get started with Disney on the Rocks? Just what was the lead up to how you guys got started?
Yeah, man. Well, thanks a lot for having me on, for sure. This started, our podcast, Disney on the Rocks, it started as me and my buddy basically exchanging Facebook messages and wall posts about Disney movies that we were watching with our kids. Little things we were noticing, plot holes, funny stuff that like adults notice, but you never noticed as a kid. And it really became this kind of COVID lockdown idea. It's like, why don't we do a podcast just about that? We'll watch a movie, we'll talk about the movie every week, and that's how it was born. And we just did our first episode just over a year ago. We covered The Lion King to kick it off, thinking that's kind of like the golden era.
Oh yeah,
mid '90s Renaissance. So we started with that, and then we just pick a new movie each week. A lot of times we pick the next movie like during the episode. So we're like, what should we do next week? Let's just throw that out there and we'll watch it. And it's been great. It's a lot of good times with our kids at night. We throw on the movie, we take some notes, and we discuss.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's been an influx of podcasts because of COVID. I mean, that's the exact same reason that we all got together, because we weren't seeing each other at all family gatherings anymore, and you want an excuse to get together and talk. So no, that's awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. I gotta ask, we were talking about this before we had you in the room. I know you're from New York, right?
Yeah, so I'm in Jersey.
You're in Jersey. Okay, yeah. But I believe you're a Mets fan, right?
Big Mets fan.
I gotta ask, because we're based out of Chicago, and I can see Vinny's already smirking. How's Javi Baez doing for you guys?
Not well. When he's on the field, he's fine. The problem is he was hurt for a good chunk of his time so far since the deadline, and really since the deadline, the Mets have just it's been a rough go. It's been a rough month.
Okay.
Going into the month, we knew we were in for some tough games. We had back-to-back home and homes with the Giants and the Dodgers. We went out west. They came back here. And so far, we have not fared well. We've only won 2 of the games. They just lost again tonight, 3-2. Frankie Lindor just came back tonight. So at least we got him back. But they went from being 4 or 5 games up in the division. We're now 7 games back to first. It's bad. We're in bad shape. Things are going to change. Things are going to change for next year. We can't keep going with the same crew.
I think I know another team where a West Coast trip kind of destroyed their season a little bit. Yeah. Plus the resurgence of the Braves and everything, because they were down for a while with injuries and all what's going on with them.
Yeah, Cunha out for the year, right?
Yeah, Cunha out, Ozuna
and
with all
still
his stuff.
Bouncing back, and the Phillies are sticking with it.
Yeah.
Despite their bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the one saving grace this year is the Mets brought back those black, was it the 2000 uniforms? Yeah. I saw those. I'm like, those are pretty cool. I'm glad they brought those back.
I've always enjoyed those uniforms for sure. So
people are either really for them, really against them. They represent that time period, that late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Mike Piazza, Robin Ventura era, which the Met fan, we get once a decade, we get a decent run of 1 to 3 years, right? That's all we get. And every time we're in one of those stretches, we're like, this is the year we're going to carry over to the following year. And that was that. 98, we just missed the wild card, actually, to the Giants and the Cubs. It was almost a 3-way tie. We wound up missing out. You guys played a 1-game playoff in 98.
That's right,
99, we had the 1-game playoff with the Reds. Al Leiter threw a 3-hit shutout, won the game 5-0. And that was the year of the Grand Slam single from Ventura against the Braves. That was a really nice magical run. And then we had the following year, obviously won the pennant, had the Subway Series in 2000. And that's when you're thinking, man, we're on a roll here. We're gonna add a couple more bats, get some arms, reload. That's when they went after Robbie Alomar, Mo Vaughn. Those guys came in. And we're done. By 2002, 2003, 2004, just some of the worst years that the Mets have had. And then we bounced back, right? 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, all really good years.
Was that Carlos Delgado on the team?
Delgado was 2006. That was the Carlos Beltran, Jose Reyes, David Wright, that whole core. 2006, they should have won. I mean, they should have won the World Series. They had that Game 7 against the Cardinals. I was at that game with the Andy Chavez catch over the wall.
Oh, really?
Probably my favorite and worst Met memory is probably that. The absolute joy of seeing that ball. Now, I was sitting right behind the plate, upper deck, off the bat. I even said to my dad, I'm like, I think Andy's got this. Like he's got it tracked. He went to the wall, jumped, made the catch. Unbelievable! It was the play of the century. If they held on to win, it would have been probably up there with the Mays catch, best playoff catch ever. Unfortunately, they lose the game. Then they go on to sweep the Tigers, who were terrible that year, who won the pennant in 06. We really should have won. And then without the second wild card, right? We finished in second place of the wild card at 7 and 8. The Phillies took us out. It just, again, a rough stretch where we should have been good. And then we had another one, right? In 2015, win the pennant. You guys know that year. Very well. That was a fun year for us. And of course, after that year, I said, listen, the Cubs and Mets are going to be in the NLCS every year for the next 6 years.
Yeah,
I thought
That was
that's what
definitely
we all
the
thought.
talk.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be arms against bats every year.
Yeah.
Obviously it didn't come to fruition.
Oh, geez. Well, we'll have to have you be like our New York Mets correspondent if they end up turning around, and we'll have you back on and get your feedback. So, all right. Well, we're going to get into this. Like we said, we're going to count down our top 5 Disney movies, anything animated from the animated studios up from the beginnings of Disney to now, pretty much, right? So, Jeff, you want to start us off? What's your number 5 top ranked Disney animated movie?
Yeah. So before we get going, I want to mention on the show back in March, we did a March Mickey Madness, we called it. So we put out 64 teams. We actually had one of our podcast episodes was a selection Sunday type show. It took us about 2.5 hours to go through.
Jeez.
We found all 64. We ranked them and we went through. I'll tell you what the final 4 of that was, just by fan vote. This is not my top 4, but this is where the voting went.
Yeah.
I'll give you the top 4, and then you guys go and listen to the episode. I'll give you guys a little nugget to go.
There you go.
So our final 4 wound up being Toy Story, Aladdin, WALL-E, and Lion King.
Okay, I can get behind.
No real surprises there.
No.
I've only seen WALL-E once, so I don't remember too much about it. But
WALL-E, widely considered one of the best Pixar movie. I don't agree, but
heard that.
It's widely considered. You look at any list of top Pixar movies, WALL-E's at the top.
Yeah, especially especially for like the first hour. I mean, there's barely any dialogue, right? It's just all like emoting and things like that. So interesting. All right, well, I'm definitely curious now with the last.
Those other 3 don't surprise me.
No,
no,
they're classics, right?
Yeah.
No. So I'll jump in. Number 5 on my list. So we're doing no Pixar. This is just Disney animated studio.
Yep.
At number 5. I have Aladdin.
Good choice.
Oh, okay.
Good choice. What's what about Aladdin kind of comes to mind for you as being one of your favorites?
So it's the villains for me, man. It's the villains.
Totally.
The villains are the best. That's Disney's bread and butter. When they've got a movie with a great villain, and you'll see pretty much a common theme through my top 5. Now that I look at it, the villains make great Disney flicks, and Jafar is by far. I won't say he's the best villain, but he is my favorite villain.
Yeah,
that's a good call.
That's a good call.
I think I'd agree with that too. I love Jafar, and it's just kind of like with Star Wars too. You know, you identify with the villains a little bit as much as you do the heroes of the movie, so they make it memorable.
I feel like too, like that was one I remember. Oh God, I want to say it had to be straight to VHS, but wasn't there like an Aladdin 2? It was like Jafar turns into a genie or something. Does anybody else remember that, or is it just me?
Yeah, of course.
I had remember that one.
Jafar,
I remember watching that too.
Return of Jafar.
Yeah, and the fact that they were able to now granted, the last time I saw that was probably like I was 7 or 8 years old, but I remember that being like, hey, this went straight to VHS, and even as a kid, I'm like, oh, it went straight to VHS. It's not going to be good, but like it wasn't bad. Like it did its job,
it's
right?
One of the better sequels. One of the better direct to, and you guys talked about sequels last week, right?
Yeah,
in the show. So it was in terms of Disney direct to VHS sequels, that was up there.
Yeah,
Return of Jafar. Although we've talked about it on the show a few times in terms of what voice actors they get to play certain parts.
Right.
Jason Alexander played an Arab villain in that movie. Not Disney's best choice to get George Costanza to play an Arab villain in a Disney movie. But
didn't Dan Castellaneta do the voice of the genie in?
Correct.
Wasn't the same one? That was the Prince of Thieves or something like that. I get those two mixed up. I can't remember which one was.
So yeah, Return of Jafar was the second one. Dan Castellaneta came in. It was basically Homer Simpson as the genie. You
exactly.
could definitely tell it wasn't Robin Williams.
Yes.
But Robin Williams did return for the third one, The King of Thieves.
I gotcha.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty cool. All right. Vinny, let's go to you. Vinny, what do you got for number 5?
Should I say if it's on my list? Aladdin's on my list, and where it's at?
I think we should just stick with our
your list.
rankings.
Yeah, and then we can bring it up when we go say for all the reasons we talked about. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5 for me is Princess and the Frog.
Ooh.
Any of you guys see that?
I will
Really
be honest,
nice.
I never
Vinny,
saw
you're
that
kind
one.
of spoiling my list a little bit here.
To be honest, I think I've seen that movie from beginning to end probably once. But for me, the soundtrack of it was absolutely phenomenal. Dr.
Amazing.
John doing the theme song for it, the opening song, and pretty much all the songs in it are great. I think I heard the songs before I actually saw the movie too. But I think the villain also in that is fantastic. I honestly don't remember the characters' names, to be honest. But
Shadow Man.
Shadow Man, Dr. Facilier.
Dr. Facilier.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Voiced by, really quick, I was going to bring this up later, but voiced by one of my favorite character actors, King from Platoon, just an all-around talent and such an amazing actor. And
Great.
he did great with that role. So I'm going to get to that one later, though.
I'll have to check that. I know that's what they're going to turn Splash Mountain into, right? Aren't they going to do a Frog Princess and the Frog kind of thing?
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of curious to see because that's one ride. I'm not a huge roller coaster guy, but Splash Mountain is my speed, so I'll have to check that out.
A nice leisurely boat ride. Yeah, the current one is from Song of the South. Which for a lot of reasons.
Yeah,
well, not really a lot of reasons. I guess one reason in particular. They don't want to have that anymore.
Right? Yeah. Gosh, I totally can get that. Greg, what about you? What's your number 5?
So this movie I loved as a kid and I watched all the time. I think I'm old enough where I can say I haven't seen it in 20 years. And I haven't watched it with my kids yet, but loved it as a kid myself. And that was Oliver and Company.
Oh God! I don't remember that one at all.
It was Billy Joel, baby.
Billy Joel, yeah. Billy Joel, Bette Midler, Cheech Marin were in it. Did the voice of Oliver as a kid. It was like a animal, cat and dog tale take on Oliver Twist, sort of.
Oh, okay.
Took place in the Bronx. A lot of good songs. Wasn't widely regarded or received as a Disney classic or anything, but it's a harmless, fun movie that I truly enjoyed as a kid for the music, mainly Billy Joel, like you said, Jeff, and just a fun story and pretty dark there. Some dark themes there at the end with like kidnapping, ransom, stuff like that going on. Not
another great villain.
But
Sykes is the villain in that one.
Robert Loggia.
Yeah, the two Doberman that he has as his sidekicks are really badass too.
Yeah,
they're
I forgot their names, but they're pretty. It's New York, so it's pretty tough. So.
I feel like did that come out was that like mid 80s, late 80s,
late 80s,
89?
89.
Okay, because for some reason I'm getting that and like the real Aristocats mixed up.
That was earlier.
Yeah, that was earlier. Yeah,
that was 70s. I thought.
Okay,
yeah, Aristocats. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I might have to check that out too. Gosh, I should be writing these down because
it's a great one. Actually, we just covered that on the show actually a few weeks ago, and my co-host Eric, it's one of his favorites too. And I haven't seen it in a while. Same thing, Greg. I was like, I haven't seen this in a while. I don't know. I don't think it'll really resonate. I think it's maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago that we did it. It's now our 4th most downloaded episode.
Wow!
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Which I had to eat crow for the fact that we did not do it sooner. And I said, you know what? We did it at the right time because if we did it earlier, who knows how many downloads we'd have. But yeah, it's the fourth most downloaded episode. Came out in '88. It was part of that late '80s turn where Disney started putting out good movies again. For a while there, between really Robin Hood in '73 until the Great Mouse Detective in '86. That gap of time, really not a lot going on. Great Mouse Detective, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Oliver and Company came out boom, 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 late '80s. Mm-hmm. And then Little Mermaid kind of kicked off that renaissance where people consider that's where it all came back in '89.
Okay. Huh. All right. Well, I'll have to give that a look. My number 5. I'll be honest. I did not realize this came out in the '60s until, probably I started making my list a couple of weeks ago. And that is 101 Dalmatians, the original animated. To me, that is one I remember my sister and I watching that nonstop. I loved
Great.
the end of the animation. I mean, for being from the 60s, like the animation is pretty good in it, right? Like it's got some style to it. It's a little stylized. I still remember, was it Pongo and Perdita were the Dalmatian parents?
Yep.
And then you got Cruella de Vil, who, I still remember when they made the real live action one with Glenn Close.
Close, yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is okay, but give me the animated one any day. I'll take that over that. And then I know they did 102 Dalmatians. I don't think I ever saw that one.
I saw that one.
Okay.
That one was
It's basically Home Alone with Dalmatians.
Yeah. That's what I had read when I was doing my research. But yeah, I mean, 101.
And now Emma Stone Cruella now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen yet.
I haven't seen it either.
I'm a very anti-Premier Access. As much as I love the Disney movie,
for sure.
I'm already giving you my money. I'm not giving you $30 or something to watch now. I'll wait 2 months.
Wait a couple months, exactly.
I can wait Mickey out. We'll be okay.
Right. Careful, the mouse will hear you.
Oh, trust me. Trust me, he's got his fingers everywhere.
I think Jeff Daniels was in the live action one, the 101.
I believe he was. Yeah.
Correct.
So
it was him and who's the dude that the guy that plays House? What was his
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie.
Correct.
Yeah.
He was the other bumbling bad guy.
Yeah,
yes, he was. And the other one was the guy who played Ron Weasley's dad in Harry
that Mark
Potter.
Williams? Was
I
it
think
Horace?
so. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's who it is. Because they were
I got
actors at the time.
I got the IMDb page pulled up. Man, Jeff Daniels to go from Dumb and Dumber to, man, what a career that guy's had. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Very weird career. You haven't had an odder career than Jeff Daniels.
I know. And then the fact that he came back for Dumb and Dumber 2, which the less said about that one, the better, probably.
Right. He's typically more of a dramatic actor.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
We're a Jeff Daniels pod now. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, to me, like the fact that that original 101 Dalmatians came out in the 60s, it had that renaissance. I remember seeing it on VHS in the early 90s when I was a little kid. And then obviously then the live action. And now you have Cruella with Emma Stone coming out. So it's one of those that even though it's been around for 60 years now, like it keeps reinventing itself. And there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5. Jeff, what about you? What's your number 4?
So at number 4, I have Princess and the Frog, which you already brought up. Yeah, number 4. That is the first Disney hand-drawn animation movie in a long time that they had since that 90s run when they converted everything to CGI. Princess and the Frog, great story, great music. Love the characters. What I love about it is I love New Orleans. I love the city of New Orleans. Like, I have to go for work. I travel a lot for work, so I've been there a few times. Man, the city's great. And they really capture that in this movie between the music, the culture, the voodoo stuff, the bayou. It's got everything. It's got great sidekicks, great side stories. It's smart, original. I can't say enough good things about Princess and the Frog. I'll talk about it all day. We have a whole podcast about it, of course. We've done this one too. It's one of our favorites, and I can't say enough. And of course, the bad guy is phenomenal.
Awesome. See, now you guys are talking this up. I feel like I'm gonna have to watch this weekend.
Honestly, it's
recommend
one of the
it.
best.
Yep.
One of the best.
All right, cool. Well,
You don't have to wait for the kid.
You don't have to wait for the baby. Just
nope.
I can be like my pre-learning, my pre-teaching before they come around, So
Exactly.
all right, very cool. Vinny, what about you? What's your number 4?
Number 4, I have Lilo and Stitch.
Ooh,
all right.
Dark Horse.
Yeah.
What about, I will be honest, I've only seen, this is going to sound horrible, I have only seen the first half of Lilo and Stitch because that was the movie we showed the last day of school this past year. And we hit the class period ended at 45 minutes. And I was like, all right, see you guys. Have a great summer. Class dismissed.
So should we avoid spoilers?
No,
or?
Did you not even? Why didn't you stay and finish it?
Because it was the last day of school. I was going home.
But you're watching a movie.
After the school year we had last year, I was getting the hell out of there. So Vinny, sell me on Lilo and Stitch. Like the first 40 minutes I saw, like I'm all about the alien sci-fi. I felt like there was a little bit of Men in Black vibe with them.
Yeah.
The aliens trying to sneak around a little bit, getting closer to Stitch. Sell me more. Like what else? And if you need to spoil it, it's okay. I feel like the statute of limitations has expired on this one.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean Stitch was such a great character. And then just putting him in that Hawaii vibe. It was just it just was a great movie. We watched it a lot during the summer here. I think Gretchen likes to watch it because she wants to live in Hawaii. So,
Sure.
but I mean, it's a good movie. It's funny. It's good characters.
Yeah.
There's not
Very
really
very wholesome movie.
Yeah, there's not really a central bad guy besides, I guess, Gantu. But
Yeah.
he's kind
he's
of
a
more
jerk for no reason.
Yeah, he just
Right?
comes in at the end, right? Yeah, and he, takes Lilu away instead of Stitch, and he doesn't care about it. And Stitch gets away and doesn't care that he's got Lilu. I never understood that. He just kept going away. It's like, you got the wrong person there.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just leaving. They're like, well, we can't use resources to go back. It's like, who made this rule?
Right? But the movie was great. And then they had like a couple sequel movies that were, I think, those. And yeah, the show actually was pretty good. We watched that at our house too, and I don't mind that as well. But yeah, it's a good show or a good movie. I listen.
Nice.
This is more just us recommending Disney movies to Justin.
I know. I literally have the notes tab open on my laptop right now, and I'm just occasionally adding things. So I know I'm going to add that to the Disney Plus queue. So Greg, don't cancel Disney Plus, Greg.
No.
Oh, you steal passwords?
We may. Amidst the family, as long as
Justin, why did you just admit that?
I mean,
I'm telling you, the mouse is listening.
Don't delete yours, because then when I come over, I won't be able to watch it. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Covered.
Now, a very underrated character, Nani, the older sister, is very underrated. She is one of the best Disney in terms of what she does to give up. She gives up her whole life for this little girl. I mean, what is she, like 16, 17?
Yeah,
when her parents die.
Yeah.
She raises this little girl. The one shot is really cool. They show in the background of her room is all the surfing trophies. She's got a whole mantle full of trophies.
Yeah.
Like, she gave up everything to raise Lilo, and she's still like, I know she messes up and they try to like take Lilo away all the time. It feels so it's gut wrenching really when you think about it.
Oh yeah.
And I also like the interaction between like the first interaction you see with Lilo and Nani is like she's trying to undo the nails that are in the doorway so she can break into her house.
And Bubbles isn't having it.
That's true. Greg, what about you? What's your number 4?
4 for me is The Lion King. You could argue it should be higher. I absolutely love The Lion King. Yes. Fantastic film. I want to say my first movie I ever saw in theaters. If I'm not the first one, the first one I recall. Cried like hell when Mufasa died. Still have trouble with that scene. Still hard to watch. Great music, great voice acting, great story, and I would argue the one like an animated achievement scene when you see Simba growing up and they're singing Hakuna Matata and you see the landscape changes that are walking across the land right there. I think that is arguably one of the greatest movie scenes in history.
Wow.
Right, definitely an achievement in animation. The way the music plays, the way they do. I mean, what a transition. So fast, Simba that I grin, I smile every time I see that scene. My kids watch it a lot, and I always make sure that I tune in for that scene if it's close by, and I'm doing my little head bob too.
Nice.
High praise for number 4, Greg.
High praise for number 4. And
I got
you know what?
coming,
they could have went 80s montage on you there, but they did the little quick grow up through the shot. You didn't get this montage of him growing up.
No.
I think it's clean. I agree.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
Nice. That's I don't want to spoil my list, but yes, that is definitely one that man, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, man. He and Matthew Broderick, where did he come? He came back out of nowhere, it feels like, right? To voice Simba as an adult. So no,
Hakuna Matata, one of my favorite songs, Disney songs. I think is just so much fun to listen to. Yeah. And I think even Hans Zimmer was part. I think he did the score, and I know Elton John obviously did a lot of the songs and lyrics for it. So just really, it really all clicked. Man, that might be the strongest part of the movie. Some people could argue. So, but just definitely one of the best, if not the best. But number 4 on my list.
It spawned a franchise too. There's a Lion Guard show is really well done.
Yes, there is. Yep.
And the sequels for that are actually
couple sequels.
too. So not bad.
Nice.
Not bad for number 4.
For number 4, yeah. I'm very curious what the top. You're not going to work James Bond into this somehow, are you, Greg?
No, just you wait. No, I'm not. I'll have the reasons for. I mean, I think you'll understand my reasons when we get later down my list. But
understandable.
You're gonna have some explaining to do.
Yeah, don't worry, I got you.
All right, my number 4. This one we haven't talked about this one yet. I'm gonna go a little off the beaten path in terms of what we've discussed so far. I'm gonna go Beauty and the Beast for number 4, which granted, I have not seen that movie in a long time, as has been well documented so far in this episode. But I just remember as a kid, you give me Lumiere, you give me Cogsworth, you give me Chip. Chip was my favorite as a kid. I don't know why, but he was.
Relatable.
So
I'm sorry. I might be the odd man out of this one. I could not stand Chip. Guys.
Really?
But I won't ruin your moment here, Justin.
Well, I will admit now. Like 6-year-old Justin loved Chip. 34-year-old Justin might hate Chip if I watch it again. I don't know. But
5-year-old Greg, 32-year-old Greg hates him. So. This is your moment, Justin.
Yes.
Greg, you are the boomer.
I am the boomer. That is right.
When Chip turns back into a human, does he actually have to sleep in the cupboard? They kind of laugh it off at the end of the movie, but it's like you probably still have we don't have a bed. So
back to the cupboard, Chip. Yeah. Enjoy being a little more cramped.
And where are your brothers and sisters? Where the hell did they go?
Yeah.
There were a lot of teacups.
Right. There were a lot of teacups. Yeah. That's a good point.
There's some deep, dark thoughts there. But I know for me, I just remember I enjoyed it so much. I remember my parents took us to, this was when the Chicago Stadium was still around, the old Chicago Stadium. We got to see Disney on Ice, and it was the Beauty and the Beast version. I remember we got, the $9 Slurpees and a cup that looked like Chip. I mean, it was a big deal. I think my sister probably still has that cup somewhere. But so for me, like I said, Lumiere and Cogsworth, I loved the banter between the two. I thought they were really cool supporting characters, and that is my number 4, Beauty and the Beast. So we turn our
best picture winner, wasn't it?
I believe
nominee. That was before they had their separate animated best film, and it's because of this movie, because of Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Because they feel like it got gypped because no one voted for it because it was animated, but it was nominated back when they only had 5 nominees too.
Right.
It was nominated for Best Picture.
Wow, that's awesome.
Was that Forrest Gump that year that won it, or?
Good call. Yeah. Forrest Gump was 94. 94 was probably the best year for movies ever. Shawshank and everything. And Lion King was 94. Beauty and the Beast was 91.
Okay, 91.
Oh, okay. All righty. Jeff, what do you got for number 3?
So number 3, I went a little more recent again, kind of back to back Princess and the Frog, and I went Moana.
Okay.
Moana being a fairly, I'll say it's new, but what is it, 10 years old now? But we watch 2016, so not 10, 5 years. So we watch Moana all the time. Again, phenomenal soundtrack.
Yes.
You can put that movie on, and we do every day, and you can listen to the music. You can watch the whole movie straight through. You can watch segments. You can pick different spots. Between Maui and Moana, the visuals are just incredible.
Yeah.
The opening scene could be a little short film in and of itself. Just little Moana walking into the ocean with the wall, and you got the turtles swimming by. It's just, the whole movie's so well done. The story's great, and it's got one of the best twists of any Disney movie ever, where the whole movie you're thinking Taka is the bad guy, and they flip it on you at the end.
Yeah.
It's a twist you don't normally get in a Disney movie. It's usually pretty straightforward. Good guy, bad guy.
Right.
You just work your way through the movie. Right. There's a battle. Man, that just, it does it for me every time.
And the twist works well. It works perfect. Yeah. It makes perfect sense. So
it does. It really does. I mean, that's something that I feel like it's totally earned. You don't see it coming, and it works. So
Yeah, Justin, it sounds like you actually watched this movie.
I actually saw this one. Yes. This is
Oh my goodness.
this is what can I admit? Maybe I saw this one at school too.
All right.
But yeah, and actually I know one of the kids one of the times I was over there, like, you have to watch this. You haven't seen this. And I'm like, oh, this is one I've seen. I can sing. I can sing, You're Welcome with the best of them. But well done to The Rock or Dwayne Johnson, whatever you want to call him. Like, if you would have told me, even 15 years ago that, I knew he was going to be an action star, but the fact that he had the wherewithal to do a Disney movie and sing and do a really nice job. It's really impressive. And he's not the only one that does a good job in that movie, but and I'm all for, the ocean theme, the island theme. I love that kind of stuff. So that is actually one I saw and enjoyed. So
there you go. Yeah. The Rock actually, he was really concerned about his voice in that movie. He got acting lessons and coached on his voice. He didn't want to sound like The Rock, but he wanted his own little twist. And that's really, we talk about it on our show all the time about the voice actors. When you get an actor in there and you just recognize the voice right away, it takes away from the animated film.
It can,
Yes,
It's that's definitely Steve Buscemi, right?
Yeah.
It's him or whatever, right?
Right.
If it's got a distinctive voice, it's tough. And not to discredit Steve Buscemi, he does a great job as Randall in Monsters, Inc. You really don't know it's him right away. If you change it just a little bit, it does add something to it. And The Rock does that. He adds a little something to Maui to make it original and unique. It's not just his voice. And a lot of regular actors, big names, they get to do these animated movies. Sometimes you lose a little something.
Yeah. Yeah, that art of having the well done or well known voice actor that isn't known for blockbuster movies, but just known for their voice instead. I feel like that was kind of dying a little bit, and you have these superstar actors and actresses coming in, kind of stealing their thunder. But he did a great job. So well done. That is a great movie. It didn't make my list per se, not to spoil anything, but it would be one of my honorable mentions. Vinny, what was your number 3?
Aladdin was my number 3.
Aladdin was your number 3.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to add about Aladdin?
Just that Robin Williams is absolutely fantastic in that. And the fact that he kind of just did that for pretty much pro bono is kind of what I read about is he did it as kind of a legacy so he could give something to his kids and grandkids when he was gone and I guess is gone. It just kind of adds to this. Adds to the just kind of the magic of it, I guess, of that movie. And just his character was absolutely great in that.
Yeah. It might be the best side character ever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
I would definitely agree with that.
That ending always gets me too, where Aladdin uses one of his final wishes to give him his freedom. And you see his excitement when the bonds or the chains come off of him. And it's holy cow, that was even as a 7-8-year-old, 9-year-old kid, I was like, wow, that's you can tell there's something powerful to that. Right. So
absolutely.
That's a good pick, Vinny. Excellent. Greg, number 3, what do you got?
Number 3. So like I said before, so I kind of reserved number 3 and or 2 and 3 to movies that I got to see with my kids for the first time.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I'm going to give number 3 to Moana.
There you
go. Polynesians, the Pacific Islanders, those are my people. I say it probably doesn't look that nice, but that movie is visually striking how beautiful it is. You can't say enough about The Rock. I mean, what you said before, Jeff, about how it kind of takes you out. I'm like, yes, I know it's The Rock, but like you said, there's something about the way he performs that character that is just you just buy it right then and there.
He said it right there.
Yeah. It's just the performance, and it's just even the singing. You could tell he's not a professional singer, obviously, but he does fine. He does a great job, and the song.
You're Welcome is so good.
Yeah,
it's such a great song, and then at the end, we're kind of twist to him being the bad guy and fooling Moana.
Yeah,
it's so good. The transition's great.
And the lyricist, the composer, Lin. Oh gosh, you might have to help me with his name. The one who does Hamilton.
Yeah, Lin.
Oh, Lin-Manuel.
Yes, yes. His singing in "We Know the Way." Another beautiful. This is the Polynesians. That's how they navigated the seas like that. So it was a nice homage to that. And it's just such a beautiful movie. And I remember I bought it for my oldest daughter at Best Buy, and she'd seen it somewhere. I'd never seen it before, but that was kind of like the first, our first trip there. We bought the Blu-ray and we watched it. I'm like, this movie rocks.
So good. So good.
And I've heard of it before. I watched it much later than 2016, but I'm kind of sad that she's a little bit over it. It's like, hey,
Oh, no.
you want to pop on Moana? Because she had the Moana backpack. We had the Moana Crocs. We had Moana everything for a little bit. Now she's outgrown it a little bit. I'm like, oh, I would kind of like, I'm kind of hoping for a sequel, a follow-up, or just to kind of revisit that movie again. I'm like, hey, I'll definitely watch that one again.
See, I think a lot of parents love Moana because it saved us from Frozen.
Yes, that is a
like
great
Frozen
call.
was so big, and it took 3 years, and then Moana came out. And we're like, I could get behind this one.
Absolutely.
Let's watch this over and over.
Absolutely.
Well, Frozen I have managed to avoid. There's been times where I've had to watch bits and pieces and I'm like, nah, I'm good. You can keep Olaf. I'm all good. No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's terrible.
Not terrible. Frozen 2's terrible.
Yes. That I have seen more of and I'm like, this is not good.
Could you have a more convoluted children's movie than Frozen 2?
I haven't seen it, so.
No, yeah, it's not.
You need like a graphic organizer to follow it from what I've seen and read.
Impossible.
Greg, I gotta say with Moana, I got one of my favorite kind of side characters is the crab in all Disney.
Tamatoa.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably one of the funniest villains, I think, in Disney.
Mhm.
Yeah. Great.
That's the Flight of the Conchords.
You can't run away from me. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
you can. You keep surprising me.
It's a barnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really good.
That's awesome. That's a good deep cut there, Vinny.
Yeah.
All right. My number 3, I had Lion King. There's not much else to say about Lion King. I actually last year, 2 years ago, I went back and rewatched it with my nephew because he's really into Lion King, or was, I should say. And man, like you guys said, that movie still holds up. It's so good. And it's funny, like as a kid, I didn't realize how many famous people were in it, going back to that whole actor versus voice actor thing. But you got, Matthew Broderick, James Earl Jones, which, man, I could listen to that guy talk all day, right? I mean, Rowan Atkinson is Zazu and Robert Guillaume is Rafiki. Like, I love Robert Guillaume's voice. Like, I think that is so recognizable. Even Whoopi Goldberg, like the only other thing I know Whoopi Goldberg from is Eddie, which is a great basketball movie, and I will die on that hill if anyone wants to argue that one. But
I was a big Knicks fan growing up, not so much anymore. I kind of got off the NBA in the late 90s, but man, early to mid 90s, when Eddie came out, it was like Knicks all the way.
This is it, right? Yeah. So, I mean, and then Cheech Marin's in it, and just the fact, with Pumbaa and Timon, that again, similar to like that whole Cogsworth and Lumiere, it seems like there's so many Disney movies, especially the animated ones, that you got those two like supporting characters that just play off each other, and there's parts of the movie that they literally carry the movie. When the main character's kind of doing their own thing or whatever, and those characters, I love those. I remember as a kid, I had like the Lion King action figures, like the little Simba, and he'd be eating my GI Joes as a kid. So stuff like that.
You mentioned the voice actors. You missed one of the most iconic animated voices that is in Lion King, and you would never know it.
Okay,
Jim Cummings. If you don't know animated actor, Jim Cummings, basically the voice of Winnie the Pooh. He did Ed. The guy who didn't even talk.
Yeah.
He didn't even talk in the whole movie.
Right.
That was, I forgot about Ed. Holy cow.
He also played Ray the Firefly in
yes. Yes, right.
Oh, geez. Okay.
He's done a lot of
rolling
voice
down
work.
the bayou.
And I gotta say, it might have been because of the time period, but that Lion King game on Sega, on Genesis.
Oh, the best.
It was so good, but at the same time, it kicked my ass every time. Like I could never.
Scene was
yes. I'm like, well, I just got trampled again. It's like another horrible death for me to witness.
If you got to adult Simba, you were solid.
Yeah,
you were solid. It was hard to get there.
Yeah, well,
and the Aladdin game was great too.
Yes. Oh, don't worry. I got something to say about that one too.
Very nice.
All right, so that's my number 3. Jeff, give us your number 2. We're getting near the end here.
Well, number 2, I got Lion King.
Okay,
So
perfect timing. Perfect
there
timing.
you go. So we could talk about Lion King again. Scar. We haven't talked about Scar again.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons. Yeah.
Well, that's what makes Lion King so great. Right? This is the fourth time we're talking about it, and and we've got something new to say. Scar, I'm a villains guy. If you listen to the podcast, you'll know I am all about the villain. I love to commiserate with the villain, and I look at them more as anti-heroes than villains when they're really good. They've got to have a good story, a good reason, a rationale. They've got to think they're the good guy. That's when they're great. When they think they're the good guy. Scar really thinks he should be in charge.
Yeah.
He's an idiot, and he's terrible. He's the worst ruler ever. He's a terrible leader. He has no business being in charge, but he really believes he should be.
Right.
He believes he's been looked over. So you got to hand it to him. He did what he had to do to grab the throne. And those are the best. The best villain, though, in Disney history that thinks they're the good guy is Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good
100% thinks he's the good guy. And by any outside observer, if you don't see any side, you would think he's the good guy, too. He's the hero of the movie.
Right.
If
That's
you
a good
don't
point,
actually know who the Beast is. So just throw that out there. I love the villains. I'll diagnose and dissect the villain all day. It's Scar, one of the all-time best villains, gets number 2 on my list.
Excellent. Yeah, you know that song. I apologize. I don't know the name of the song, but the song he sings. Yes, I still like. I can hear that in my head right now. That's how you know it's
Jeremy Irons.
Yeah. I mean, come on, right? Yeah.
Actually, Jim Cummings sang the second half of that movie. That song.
Really?
Yeah. Jeremy Irons lost his voice halfway through recording, and Jim Cummings, who did the voice of Ed, had no lines other than laughing. He stepped up. He's like, "Yeah, I'll do Scar," and he just stepped up and did Scar. He did the second half of Be Prepared.
Wow,
I never knew
that's
that.
Awesome.
That's
interesting.
Cool. I have to go back and listen.
Very
to that.
cool. All right, Vinny, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Zootopia.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that one, but okay. Go ahead. Sell me on it. No, it's okay.
Justin's offended.
I love the boldness. That's what I love.
I thought it had a lot of adult humor in it.
Yes.
Watching
yes,
that, and I love Jason Bateman.
Bateman.
Yeah. He was great in that.
He was
wild.
He was.
Plus, it's got Idris Elba in it as well.
Yep, that's
Chief
true.
Bogo.
That's true.
I like it. Was just a great story. You know, animals acting as humans. With the whole world and everything like that. I like the twist in it. It did have a twist, and I also like the reference to Breaking Bad, which is probably one of my favorite TV dramas of all time. Near the end of the movie, but it's one of my favorite. I probably could just watch by myself if I wanted to.
That's steals the show, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that
was a shocker.
I need to go back and watch that again.
It's a good call.
I've only seen it once. Seen it once. Maybe I need. And I do.
I've only seen it once. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty neat how they had like the different biomes or different towns they lived in. You know, depending on what type of animal they were and stuff like that.
It's pretty creative. Yeah.
Like you said, Jason Bateman just does like his Jason Bateman smarmy. You know.
But he's not like the kind of dweeby, dorky guy.
No,
he's actually a sly fox.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just remember that opening scene with him where it's like, oh, you know, he's really trying to take care of this little kid that needs. It was ice cream, right? Was that what it was?
It was
I don't remember.
Like popsicles or something.
Jumbo
right?
Pop.
Okay,
Jumbo Pop.
And it's like, oh, what a nice character. And then like within like 5 minutes, it's like, oh, you know exactly what type of character this is. Yeah, like what a jerk, you know? Like he is just playing the system. So. That's actually, the more I think about it, that's a pretty good pick, Vinny. I like it. Little off the board. I like when we go off the board a little bit.
Number two, man, bold.
Greg, what do you got for your number 2?
So I for a minute there, when I was making the list, I thought about making my number 2 on the list my number 1, but my number 1 has been my favorite for years. So number 2 on my list is The Princess and the Frog. That movie rocks, and that's another one I saw with my kids for the first time. I saw it as an adult, and this was less than a year ago. I saw it for the first time, and I'd heard of it, you hear about almost all the Disney movies. I'm like, oh, I kind of overlooked it. I think it does get overlooked. This movie is absolutely amazing, and I get so excited when the kids want to watch it. We actually had it on a couple days ago. I know you guys. I'm going to beat the drum again. The music, is just top of the line. Probably my favorite Disney soundtrack.
All right, well, I am definitely sold. I need to watch this.
Yeah, Justin, this movie is fantastic. And who's the actor who does? I wanted to bring up the character Lewis, who plays the alligator, the trumpet playing. Crocodile.
Fantastic.
What's the song? It's called "When I'm Human." I think. That is. I think that might be my favorite song of the.
Is great
movie. So and he also that actor did a voice in Grand Theft Auto, I believe. He was
really.
Yeah, he was in GTA 4. I can't.
All right, I'm even more intrigued. Interesting.
But yeah, Shadow Man, voiced by Keith David, based on Villain Bears. But very fitting, and John Goodman also in that movie.
Yes.
Probably the most recognizable voice out of that entire set. Discussing about a year ago now, and just it was on in the background, to start with, and then I started paying attention where I'm like, this movie is
music draws you in. Every song's good, and what I love, one of my favorite characters is actually Charlotte, the friend of Gianna in there.
Yes,
because you think she's going to be this spoiled little brat. Mm-hmm. And she could have went that way and been selfish.
And they didn't do it. Yeah.
They didn't do it. Right. Yeah. It was, they almost fooled me. Like, man, she's going to be like the villain. She's going to turn, and she didn't. She stayed true. She was a good friend. And they don't ever depict the spoiled rich kid in a good light in any movie, right? They're always bad. They always turn out bad. Charlotte turns out really good, and I like that they did that. It gives a little like humanity to it.
Yeah, exactly. She her arc never reached a point where she had to redeem herself in the end. The childhood friend. There was always, she was looking for true love, the prince, obviously. But there was never a betrayal or anything like that. Right. I mean, it was just she was just kind of like that, that silly character that, was also very wholesome, but, it did fool you in a way, because it's like, every movie would go that direction, but they didn't do it. So, So it kind of made the movie a little easier to to make it through too. So not saying it would have made a difference, because I loved it either way, but I like how they kind of stayed true to that. So
excellent. Well, I'm sold on this one. I have to watch this one.
Oh yeah,
that will be like
all our lists. So.
Yes, I know.
I'll be honest, guys. I thought I was going to be the only one to have it, and I'm so glad that you guys had it too, because I'm so glad that it's out there now. Because I always thought it was, kind of the forgotten one,
like this diamond in the rough. Yeah,
but
if it had come out in the '90s, it would be right there with Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Lion King.
Yeah,
it would be right there.
It was like 2007 or something.
2009.
Like that? 2009. Okay, right
so
around
a little
there.
too late.
Yeah,
to be, and then later came Frozen and Moana.
Yeah. Right.
Different types of movie. Tangled was right after.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Credit. It kind of got overshadowed, but it was it's the last. Still, it's the most recent animated movie, hand drawn animated movie. So
exactly.
It's unique in a lot of ways.
Wow. Yeah. Gosh. All right. I need to get on my.
Have we sold it to you?
Yes,
Justin?
I have a lot of homework to do besides this and watching all your Bond movies, Greg. I got a lot of things to watch. All right, my number 2. This one's been mentioned before. I'm going to go with Aladdin. I just remember the songs. I know we've talked about this ad nauseum already, but Robin Williams, for me, the genie, that he makes that movie. I love his character. I loved him as an actor growing up. His comedy special, I think it's live on Broadway. God, in high school, we watched that so many times. I laughed my ass off every time we watched that. But anyway, really that's neither here nor there. His character, we've talked about Jafar as a villain. I loved Jasmine's dad. I always thought was like one of my favorites growing up. The Sultan, just being like this like that classic, like, oh, you probably shouldn't be in charge of anything. You know what I mean? Like, how did you rise to this level of power is beyond me. But Yeah, and I mean, again, Aladdin is a character, Jasmine is a character, pretty neat. Abu, the comic relief is the monkey. You can't go wrong there. And again, same thing with the Lion King. I rented that Aladdin video game for Sega so many times as a kid. That theme song is burned into my head because I never got far. I think there's a flying carpet level in there, which was damn near impossible to beat.
Similar to the Stampede level.
Exactly.
It's like the same formula. All those video games have the same formula.
It's like
Battletoads.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. It's like, hey, you guys want to play games? We're gonna make these way too tough for a 10-year-old to play. So good luck, But,
yeah, they did it intentionally. They wanted you to have to go and buy it because they knew game rentals at that time were really popular.
Oh
so
yeah,
like, we got to make it hard enough where you have to play it multiple times.
Yep.
And they did. I mean, it's really that Aladdin and Lion King. Those two games are just the perfect mix of too difficult, but if you play it enough, you can get through. And they nailed it.
They nailed it. Yeah. Yeah. We are all about buying video games instead of, well, you can't really rent them anymore, right, Greg?
Yeah.
No, you can't. Why would you when you can buy them?
Classic rap, Greg.
Right.
Yeah. Greg's side vlog. We're talking
Consider them slime. Check
all
it
about
out.
video games that he buys and doesn't play. All right. I feel like I need to include a drum roll here. We are down to our top number one Disney animated movie. Here we go. Jeff, start us off. What do you got?
All right. So I got one honorable mention.
Okay.
I wanted to fit it in.
Okay.
It's the highest rated Rotten Tomatoes movie that from Disney ever is 100%.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites ever. It's our third most downloaded episode. And it's Pinocchio.
Wow.
Pinocchio's phenomenal. I want to put it on the list, and I didn't. And I probably should have it at number one, honestly, but I didn't. It's my honorable mention. But Pinocchio is just phenomenal. If you haven't seen that in a long time, it is a crazy ride.
Yeah.
It's a crazy ride. They jump from scene to scene. How you get there is not their problem. They just go from one thing to the next. It's unbelievable. Very entertaining. If you haven't watched it in a while, go back and watch Pinocchio. But my number one, for a lot of reasons. One, I think it's the most iconic Disney movie ever. I think it's one of the most important Disney movies ever. It's got one of the best and most memorable scenes in Disney history, and that is Cinderella.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Cinderella, in a lot of ways, is way better than we remember it to be. Watching that movie, this is the one movie. So again, our whole gimmick on a podcast is we're two dads. We watch Disney movies that we haven't seen since we were kids. We watch them for the first time with our kids, and we try to get the adult perspective while still remembering what we thought when we were kids and we saw it for the first time.
Right.
So Cinderella, when I saw it as a kid, was a princess movie. It was dumb, right? It's this, all right, fairy godmother, glass slipper. When you watch that as an adult, the depth in that movie is really unbelievable. It's something I didn't expect watching it again. I thought we would gloss right over it. It has become one of my favorite movies. It's the depictions in it are great. The symbolism, the villain, the mother is just unbearably evil.
Oh yeah,
you can relate to every character, even the dog is so relatable. It's great. Overall, it's just great. Again, it's iconic. Got the glass slipper, the midnight, Prince Charming. I mean, how many references to Cinderella do we still have in everyday life? March Madness, we talked about the Cinderella team, right? It's everywhere in culture. It really kicked off what I would say is where Disney animated films took off. The only ones before that are even in the mix are like Bambi, Dumbo, Pinocchio, Snow White. Right? Those are the original four. Cinderella kicked off just a string of 10 in a row that were just ridiculous movies. So Cinderella, number one. I think it's for how good it really is watching it as an adult and just its importance in pop culture.
I'm glad you brought that up, Jeff. Oh, I'm sorry, Greg. Do you want to go ahead?
No, go ahead. I was going to bring up a point, but go ahead.
I was going to say, like, Jeff, going back to kind of what you said about the podcast you guys do in general is being able to go back as an adult and go back and watch, like you said, that symbolism that I don't want to say it's wasted on people as a kid, right? It kind of goes right over your head. You're looking at the baseline of what the story is, but it's a really interesting idea. Like that's what kind of makes me want to go back and see a lot of these movies. Like I will say, for example, Pinocchio. I can't tell you the last time I actually watched that movie. I couldn't tell you anything about it besides, like, I think there's a whale involved at some point, right? Like,
for some reason.
Yeah. Like that's the only. So to hear that about Cinderella, and you like you said, you make a lot of really good points that there's so many aspects of society and sayings and catchphrases that, like you don't even, me personally, like March Madness comes around and you hear Cinderella team like every single day. Like you don't realize it's like, oh wait, that's from the Disney movie from like, so many years ago. So it's a really interesting point. I'm sorry, Greg, go ahead. What did you want to say? Yeah.
One thing I did, because my daughters do love that movie, and I've watched it a lot, and it really struck me how much I don't consider this character the main villain, but definitely right with Lady Tremaine, and that's Lucifer. How much of Cinderella's a servant to the cat, just as much as the sisters, as that, and how because Lucifer's also the tormentor to all the critters, all of Cinderella's, friends in the house. So he's, tormenting, them just as much, trying to kill them, as well as, messing up Cinderella's stairwell, kicking around the dust and everything. It's being waited on by her, hand and fist 24/7 all the time. So I've always said, like, damn Lucifer. And, he finally gets his comeuppance when he gets chucked out the window. But
that's the end of Lucifer.
That's the end. That's the end of him. But what a pain in the ass that cat is. So
really, he's a great villain, though. Man.
He is.
He is great. Right? He's doing his job. He's a cat. Chases mice. It's his job.
Yeah.
But they make him out to be the villain.
Right.
And again, relatable. It's
totally.
He thinks he's a good guy. He's doing his job.
Right. That's a good point.
The one thing about Cinderella herself, Disney princesses in general get a bad rap, that they're just sitting around waiting for a prince to come and save them. And Cinderella, when you watch it again as an adult, watch it through the lens of her being really a victim of just domestic abuse and assault.
Exactly what it is.
The beginning of the movie shows you that she's like a 10-year-old girl and her father dies, and now she's just under the custody of this evil woman, and she's being abused by her and her stepsisters. She doesn't need Prince Charming. Prince Charming does nothing to save Cinderella. This whole misnomer of Prince Charming coming in and swooping in and saving Cinderella, all that girl wanted was a night out. Just give me one night out. She didn't want a prince. She didn't want to save. She wanted to go home that night and keep living her life. She had no desire to like leave the house. She went out. She did it all on her own. She saved herself. She got herself out of the closet, out of the attic. She made herself go downstairs. She put on the shoe, and she basically said, F you, we're out of here.
Yeah.
And she did it all herself. So this whole thing, it really bothers me now watching it again. Like this whole thing in society, people say like, oh, Prince Charming, Disney princesses, they just get, they get saved by the man. Cinderella is one of the most powerful female characters ever. She gets such a bad rap.
No, that's definitely a good point. Awesome. No one ever told her to leave that castle either, but like you said, she wanted to go back home because she knew what she had to do. So
right.
And the prince doesn't even do anything in this. He's just there.
Really.
I mean, the king's steward, his assistant, has to do all the work. He has to go try the glass slippers on all them stinky feet in the town. So I feel bad. That's one of my favorite supporting characters. I forget his name, unfortunately, or his title.
I do too.
But he's funny. So
see, now this is making me want to go back and watch Cinderella again too. It's been ages.
It's a tough watch. It's a tough watch. Some of those themes, because they're so relatable even today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You see.
And speaking of sequels, Cinderella 3 might be the best Disney direct-to-VHS sequel ever.
Really?
Yes. It's basically Terminator 2.
Okay.
But Cinderella. They go back in time. They retcon everything. It's unbelievable.
Really?
Wow.
Huh.
Really good.
Seen that one.
Interesting. Very.
I didn't even know
interesting.
they had a Cinderella too.
I was gonna say, yeah, I
Seen
way over my head.
Cinderella too.
I've seen Cinderella, that one with the kids, but
Yeah,
not
Cinderella
3,
2 is
so
no good. Cinderella 3.
We're gonna check out 3 now.
Interesting.
Okay.
Excellent. Vinny, number 1. What do you got, man?
Yeah, mine's not nearly as deep as that.
I was gonna
Mine's
say neither is mine. I feel really bad.
I can't top that. Wow,
That's okay.
We're really dropping off here. I'm going to say Wreck-It Ralph is my number one.
That was
gonna do that.
Absolutely love that movie. I just
Awesome.
love the arcade, like how the video games are like real and how they interact at night. Like they clock out and they go to Tappers and get a drink. I
Yeah,
absolutely
like,
love that. I
perfect.
find that hilarious. Even the second one was great.
Yeah.
Really
going
good.
into the internet and the whole like I love the when they go to Disney and then they run into Vanellope runs into the Disney princesses and everything like that. That was another great scene. But just getting back to the first one, it was a really great movie. Just setting that up and kind of just showing that what could be, that world and everything with arcade games, and it's just a great movie.
Which is think of that world.
And
that world just
that
looks
also
so much
had
fun.
Yeah, and it also had another good twist in it, which I never
Yeah, it
saw
did.
coming.
Yeah,
I
I
watched
know.
it as an adult, and I didn't usually pick up on twists that there could be, but I didn't see that one coming at all. And I'm like, oh, I probably should have, since they did kind of foreshadow that early.
Right.
Nope.
Did, but you know what? You don't even think that there is a bad guy
Yeah.
in the movie, right?
Right,
It's not.
right.
It's not even about that for the first half. It's just the adventure,
Mhm.
and then no, there's a bad guy. Like, oh man, this is
Yeah.
great. Like,
Yeah.
it does catch you off guard.
Yeah.
Vinny, I have to agree, not to jump Greg, but that was also my number 1 as well, was Wreck-It
Nice.
Ralph. I mean, I can't, I don't feel like it's a recency bias, even though it's a newer movie, but like, I think for all the reasons you said, and then also the fact that, I mean, as somebody who has played video games his whole life, still plays video games, the fact that they sprinkled in all these characters, and if you're looking hard enough, you see them, and it's like,
Really good Easter eggs.
you know, like,
really
like
clever.
that meeting of, I'm a bad guy.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's not, I'm bad. Wait, how does it go? I'm a bad guy, but that's not bad. Or I can't remember the exact lyrics lines, but I mean, then you look around that room and it's like, okay, there's Bowser from Mario. Okay, there's Kano from Mortal Kombat. Like, if you would have told me as a kid, like, when the Senate was going nuts trying to ban Mortal Kombat, his character was gonna end up in a Disney movie. I never would have believed you, So, like, just that. And again, John C. Reilly, like, I love John C. Reilly, and him is Wreck-It Ralph. Does a great job. Sarah Silverman, who I'm very hit or miss on some of the stuff she does, but is it Penelope? No,
Vanellope.
Penelope. Thank you.
Penelope.
Yeah, like
Penelope with a V, basically.
yes, that's it. Like that whole character arc, and you kind of feel for that character, and the working in the whole like the glitch thing, which I can't tell you how many times at school like that came up in conversation, like, oh, if you hit all these buttons after you die, the game glitches and you get this, and or you can play, my uncle works at Nintendo. He told me you can do this, like that kind of crap, and the fact that they worked that into a Disney movie, like I loved that. So that is why it's my number 1 as well. And like you said, number 2, also pretty good. I don't know if I would hold it up to the same standard as number 1, but I think it definitely has its moments. And obviously it's a very different type of movie too. It's a very different, I don't want to say different style, but a different arc, I guess, in general. But yes, Vinny, I am lockstep behind you. That is my number 1 as well.
Unreal.
So
Good call.
I feel horrible though, like going from this really thoughtful, deep discussion in Cinderella, like modern issues and things that are still relevant today, to I liked Wreck-It Ralph because it's about video games. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, but it is what it is. So,
But there's consensus. So,
Yes.
I mean, who's wrong here? I mean,
right. All right, Greg, to wrap up, what is your number 1?
Well, so I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Wreck-It Ralph. I love all the pop culture references.
Yes.
But I'll save my other honorable, or I'll mention my other honorable mention before I get to my number 1, and that's Mulan.
Oh,
I very much enjoy that movie. I enjoy the story. I think I enjoyed like I almost kind of gravitate to the war movies a little bit. I always find that fascinating to see it in the Disney movie. very much enjoy the story, and Eddie Murphy in it too as Mushu.
So good.
Is always a lot of fun, and the "I'll Make a Man Out of You" song and scene. I think that's always I think that's always one of my favorite parts of the movie. So I definitely want to give that a shout. But my number one is I love this movie. I've loved it as a kid. I love it as an adult. That is Aladdin. My number one, without question. I thought the Princess and the Frog was creeping up there. Like, no, there's no way I can do it. One of my favorite movie endings of like all of them. And I think you mentioned it before, Justin, when he frees the genie.
Yes.
That scene is incredible.
Yep.
That is such a perfect ending, you know, because to marry, you know, you need to be a prince to marry a princess. Then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, after all this, I'm like, oh yeah, the Sultan's like, yeah, just forget about that. You know, I'm not
exactly
that anymore. I'm like, okay, Sultan, thanks. But no, we set some free, great scene. Robin Williams, amazing. Jeff, you mentioned Jafar before, my favorite Disney villain. My sister actually called me Jafar for a while because they thought I resembled him a little bit, which I guess I
can see that.
Next family party. That's all I'm calling.
Right. I've kind of gone along with it, you know. And then when you first meet Prince Ali for the first time after he gets out of the Cave of Wonders, the whole parade and everything. After seeing him, just so much fun, and escaping the Cave of Wonders, I think was another you know, nation, you know, I'm talking like I'm stinking expert or something, which I am not, just to be clear. But that scene where
nice
you
use
know,
of CGI. That's
absolutely. When he gets on the carpet there, I mean, that is a ride over there. Seeing that in the theaters, you know, imagine seeing that. It's just like, woof. You know, that still kind of gets me even watching it on my, you know, 55-inch upstairs, non 4K. So, yeah, just like, you know, aren't funny enough. The characters, like, I would say, you know, nothing against the character of Aladdin, obviously, because the movie's, you know, named after him, but he's probably my least favorite character in the film. I'm not saying I dislike him, but I think it's just like the genie, Jafar, Abu, you know, even
Iago. Yeah.
I think, I mean, those four.
Gilbert Gottfried, right?
Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried.
Can't go wrong. Yeah.
Even when Jafar is, you know, pretending to be the lonely prisoner, I just think that's so, you know, first give me the lamp, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that is just, I think that is just so much fun. So even the magic carpet, he's got a little bit of character.
Personality
just for a rug, you know, they gave him a personality. So I compared that to like he's the R2D2, you know, he's just like the robot or just like the thing, but you know, he's got the personality.
That's a really good call.
He's almost like you almost know, you know, without the words or just by his actions that you know how he's feeling, what he's doing. So
and that's a testament to the animation, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So,
that's wow. It's kind of like one of those characters that maybe knows more than he can let on because he physically can't let on or let you know what I mean? And
well, he's really good at chess.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's true.
I like how he plays you. I like knocks the other
the genie
out of the way.
Yeah.
He
I can't believe it. I'm losing to a rug, you know?
A lot of recent pop culture references by Robin, who ad-libbed almost the entire movie, by the way. So the whole thing was just, they had to animate around Robin Williams.
Yeah, I believe it.
It took me a while to realize too that he was also the voice of the storyteller in the beginning.
Yes,
like I had to revisit that. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like, ooh, that is Robin Williams. I think I figured that out later than I should have, but he just kind of takes off. He does his thing in that movie, and he just makes it work.
Oh,
so
yeah, there's no stopping.
I mean, he knocks it out of the park
with
any very worthy
movie.
number one.
Yes, for sure. Well, damn, that was a lot of fun. I didn't know I was going to go because I feel like I was gonna bring the Disney parade down here because I haven't watched as many, but gosh, that brought back a lot of good memories as a kid. Jeff, would you like to tell everybody, you know, where they can find your guys' podcast, how they can get a hold of you guys on social media, all that good stuff? Yeah, for sure. So on Twitter, we're Disney Rocks Pod. On Instagram and Facebook, we're just Disney on the Rocks Podcast. So search us there. We're on Spotify, iTunes. I don't know where else we are. I don't do any of the work. All I do is show up, record, and
And Eric, my co-host, he does all the work. So good for him. But I handle the Twitter and make some posts once in a while. So I don't know. It's a fun show. We talk about other stuff other than it's similar to you guys, right? You talk a little baseball, you talk a little something else. Mm-hmm. We mix things in. We talk about the movie. We talk about pop culture and movies and a little bit of everything. So yeah, just come check us out.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you for hopping on. You can be our official New York Mets and Disney correspondent. Whenever you want to come back on to talk about either one, we will be happy to have you.
All right.
Again, if you're listening to us, you can find us at baseballandwhatever@gmail.com. If you want to email us, we are also on Twitter at baseballandwhat. What am I missing here? Facebook.com/baseballandwhatever. And obviously on YouTube, just search baseball and whatever. If you want the video version or if you want the audio version so you don't have to stare at us, just search us on Spotify, Apple, Google, Anchor under baseball and whatever, and we will be there. Vinny, you got anything else before we wrap up?
Nope.
All right. Well, that was easy. Man, a few words. Greg, what about you? Anything else you want to plug or share before we wrap up?
No, just saying I had a lot of fun doing this.
Yes.
And you guys' lists were great. Jeff, thank you again for coming on. And
Thank you.
I am still super happy you guys had Princess and the Frog on.
There you go.
That is a
That's welcome,
Greg.
ass move. I'm gonna go listen to that soundtrack after we're done.
There you go.
Rolling down. I think that's my
There you
second. I think that's my second favorite song. Believe it.
There you
or
go.
not. So-
We might have to break out like best Disney soundtracks or something down there. Well, again, thanks for listening, Jeff. Thanks for being here, and we will see you guys next time. Everybody, stay safe, take care, and talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Night, everyone.
See ya.
See you real soon.